seen at this time have been preempted so that we may bring you the second game in the Stanley Cup quarterfinals between the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford Motor Company on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. The Bank of Nova Scotia with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Export Ale.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight with the defending champion Montreal Canadiens ready to meet the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 2 of their quarterfinal series, and Hockey Night in Canada ready to bring you all of the action live from Montreal. Hello, everyone. This is Dick Irvin speaking to you from our studios here at the Montreal Forum. Danny Gallivan and Donnie Marshall are in the broadcast booth, and we are all set to bring you the description of tonight's game between the Canadiens and the Maple Leafs. The Leafs, of course, are intent on evening this best-of-7 series at one victory apiece as they head back to Toronto in Game 3 at Maple Leaf Gardens on Saturday night. Game 1, a bit of a controversial game here at the Forum, as the Canadiens, after falling behind 2-0, scored 5 straight times for a 5-2 victory. In the third period, the score is tied 2-2, and the Canadiens break the tie on that shot by Jacques Lemaire off a setup from Steve Shutt. And then less than 3 minutes later, the Canadiens and Lemaire strike again via this rush engineered by Larry Robinson, number 19, and Guy Lafleur, number 10. Watch Lafleur make the pass to the trailer on the play, Lemaire, and he beats Mike Palmateer. The Canadiens go on to win 5-2. And here is Larry Robinson, one of the stars of the opener the other night. And Larry, were you surprised when the Leafs came out with what a lot of people called their game plan and started to play it rough?
No, not really, Dick. They played the same way against Atlanta. They played that way last year against, the Islanders, and they played that way against Philadelphia. I think their game plan is to hit and slow down the other team, and that's what they did to us when they started the game.
You fellas go through this business of the week off before the quarterfinals. Did you feel it when the game started?
Well, you're a little shaky, It's just, I don't think it's the layoff as much as just, the opening game or playoff jitters. And I, for one, was a little bit nervous. But as the game wears on and you get bumped enough, you start forgetting about the jitters.
You got bumped enough, Larry, very quickly. Could you expect the Leafs to do the same thing right off the bat tonight?
Yeah, I imagine they will come out and try to do the same thing.
Okay, Larry, thank you very much. There you have the view of Larry Robinson of the Canadiens. Now let's get upstairs to the broadcast booth and some pregame thoughts from Danny Gallivan and Donnie Marshall.
Well, Dick, I want to find out from Donnie Marshall something in the way of an elaboration on this strategy of the Toronto Maple Leafs of coming out and hitting.
Danny, I have to agree with Robinson that they're going to hit, but I think there's the degree of hitting, and I think they have to change their style. They can't afford the penalties that they took the other night. I think they're going to use their bodies, but not necessarily to slow the Canadiens down, just to get them out of the play, and in that way slowing them down. The penalties hurt them, and they can't go that route again.
I noticed there wasn't much line juggling the other night.
Well, I was surprised at Scotty, actually, because it's usually you want to get your best scorers away from the checkers on the other team. But he went right out. He put his best line against the Leaf checkers. And perhaps tonight we'll see a switch on Nielsen's part. Perhaps he'll put his scoring line against the Canadian scoring line.
Okay, Donnie. And our Stanley Cup playoff coverage will continue with the opening faceoff.
This is Varipel. With the exclusive Envirosol system, the exterior wood preservative that's so effective, you can think of it as wood insurance. Here's proof. We soak 2 pieces of wood in water for 24 hours. Then we bake them at 225 degrees for 1 hour. After all this, the wood treated with Varipel is still protected. That's wood insurance. That's the Envirosol system. Here's how it works. The Envirosol system opens up the cell walls of the wood fiber, allowing Varipel to penetrate deep into the wood. When it dries, the Varipel is embedded deep in the cell walls. This stabilizes the wood, preventing it from expanding or contracting, so it resists peeling, cracking, or blistering. And Varipel contains a fungicide to protect against mildew and dry rot. Protect your investment. Get Varipel and get yourself some wood insurance.
Flecto, when you want to do it right.
The Maple Leafs have one lineup change tonight. Rocky Saginac will be in uniform, taking the place of Ron Wilson. The Canadiens have lost two regulars from their lineup on Monday night. Mario Tremblay suffered a knee injury. He won't skate again for about a week. Réjean Houle re-injured his groin that kept him out of action for about 5 weeks, so he's out indefinitely. And Doug Jarvis still missing because of a knee injury. For Montreal tonight, Pierre LaRouche and Pat Hughes will be in uniform, and for Hughes, this will be his first Stanley Cup playoff game. The other games tonight, Chicago at the Islanders, the Penguins at Boston, and the New York Rangers and the Flyers meeting in Philadelphia. The other night, the home teams were the winners in all 4 quarterfinal games. This series switches back to Toronto for games next Saturday and Sunday nights, and of course, we'll bring the action to you. Now, our national anthem, and here is Roger Doucette.
In a best-in-7 series, the objective of the visiting team is at least to split in the first 2 games to wipe out the advantage of home ice. If the Leafs are to realize that objective, they have to win tonight. The officials for tonight: Van Helleman, the referee; Finn and Gauthier, the linesman. Palmatier with an average of .250 in goal for the Leafs, and Dryden .238 for the Montreal Canadiens. Well, Donnie Marshall, any observations?
Well, Danny, before the game, we started about the pregame lineup, and Roger Nielsen has gone with Sittler, McDonald, and Maloney to start the game.
And for the Canadiens, Mondeau, Lafleur, and Gainey. The puck is back in the Canadian zone, and it's Savard whipping it on the boards on the left side. Gainey trying to get out. The traffic is heavy, and Robinson to the other side. And the Leafs go to the attack. They're into Canadiens territory, and now Montreal starting out. Robinson took the Mondeau pass. Robinson, a rising, blistering shot. Standing on the rebound was Mondeau. Robinson had plenty on that shot, but it was way high. Now the Leafs, Maloney on the left side. Picked up by Hutchison. Hutchinson up on the left side to Sittler, and his pass off the leg of Savard. The Leafs clearing it in. Hutchison rolling it in. Roger Nielsen making changes while the play goes on. The Leafs have it. Puck is loose in front of the net, and Savard cleared it away. Over to the other side, and Hutchison couldn't keep it in. Salming back at the line. Now it's Sittler and Ellis combining. Ellis missed the pass. He's bumped by Robinson. Robinson over it goes to Napier. Napier coming in over the line. Knocked away by Salming. And the Leafs come back quickly. Gardner coming down, winds up and off the leg of Dryden. Williams shook his man, Engblom down. There's Williams losing it. And it was cleared up by Lemaire. Gardner really fired that shot with that best scoring opportunity for Toronto. Now Turnbull ahead to McKechnie over the line with Gardner. McKechnie trying to get it in front, jammed in on the boards by Lapointe. Here come the Canadians at center. Risebrow over to Napier. Lambert going in. He couldn't get it. A weak shot by Risebrow. Napier is bumped by Kenville. Now the puck is on the boards on the right side. Toronto starting out. Kenville fell. It's recovered by Saginaw. He doesn't get very far. Lambert's pass off a leg. Not too many whistles in the early going in this hockey game. Hasn't been a whistle as yet. And 2 minutes, 30 seconds almost. And play. There's the first whistle, icing against Montreal.
From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 79.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
Mr. Carlin, your briefcase.
Meet our people-pleasing faces.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with the best standards.
Everything all right, sir?
Everything's just fine.
People-pleasing standards to help make your trip successful.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world,
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
Face off in Canadiens territory. The Leafs everybody up. It is Sittler at center, McDonald and Anderson. He's over on the right side. Something is on the ice in front of the Canadiens players bench. Finn goes over there to pick it up. We have Burroughs and Salming on the points for Montreal, Lafleur, Lemaire, and Gainey. So again, the fans getting upset with the long time that the linesman is taking to drop that puck, and now Lafleur goes in there against Sittler. Lafleur got it to Gainey. He streaks out on the left side at center. Ran into Salming after shooting it in. Burroughs clearing it on the board. Lapointe rolling it back in. That is Burroughs around the net. Forechecking for Montreal, Lafleur, Gainey, and Lemaire. Lemaire stopping it at the line to Lafleur. Gainey is getting in front. Here's Lafleur right in front.
Donnie, I don't know if anybody got their stick in the puck when it came through the crease off the pass from Lafleur, but the quickness of Guy Lafleur pays off here. We'll see it along the boards.
He'll take the puck through there and he'll feed it in front of the net. Gainey is pretty well tied up. We can't really tell if it went in off the Salming or if Gainey got a piece of it, but the puck is in the net.
Let's get a look at it here. Burroughs was the defenseman. Lafleur beat on the first instance, threw it across. Hard to tell from that one, Donnie. Palmetier had no chance on the play. And Bob Gainey looks as though he might be the one getting credit. They're still trying to sort it out. Very hard to tell.
So Montreal leading 1-0. Canadians shooting it in. Salming having difficulty against Judge. Lemaire's shot is off the leg. Here's the announcement on the goal. Canadian shot, passing it back. There's the shot right on by Chartres. And a quick save by Palmetier. Now here's Chartres again with a shot. The rebound in front. Palmetier giving it to McDonald.
Assisted by number 10, Guy Lafleur. And by number 25, Jacques Lemaire at 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
So we have Lafleur assisting on the goal, along with Lemaire. Gainey getting it. Now it's Anderson with that good head fake. He hits the line. Another beautiful fake. There's the shot. Right on. Anderson, who impressed us when he was used in the first game Monday night, came up with a brilliant effort right there. There's an offside against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 4 minutes have gone by in the opening period.
Well, there's the Toronto captain, and you look around the National Hockey League and you say, who's the most valuable player to his team? That's always a tough one to call because teams are different. How about Darryl Sittler? 4 minutes exactly gone. Donnie, the Leafs are going to have to do something about Guy Lafleur. This is the 6th game these teams have met. We're just 4 minutes into it. Lafleur, talking about this season, regular season, now the second playoff game. That's the 14th point Lafleur has against Toronto.
Dick, when he's out there, he has the puck all the time.
The puck is in the Canadian zone. That is Lapointe getting clear of it. It's into the center ice area. Donnie Marshall. Where's all the hitting that you and Robinson said we were going to have early in this game? We'll give you time to think of your answer. Now it's McKechnie, and by that time we'll probably have 3 or 4 fights. So that's an offside. Okay, Donnie.
Now, Walt McKechnie's had a fine playoff for Toronto, and we asked him the phrase that we used with Larry Robinson. What about that Maple Leaf so-called game plan?
Well, I think that we definitely have to stay away from the penalties, bad penalties. I think we have to take them out as much as we can. Canadians are such a great skating team and whatnot. If you let them free wheel, we'll be in a lot of trouble. So I think we just have to keep hitting them as much as we can without taking penalties. Not so much running them and that, just getting in front of them, but trying to break their stride in that.
Nearing the 5th minute mark into the opening period. Montreal 1, Toronto nothing. Turnbull over the other side for Maloney. Mondu is keeping it in. It goes to Lambert. Knocked away by Paul Mateer. Lambert ahead. A backhand shot by Mondu. And a splendid save by Paul Mateer. Now it's Lambert again. He's centering it. Very quickly, Paul Mateer cleared it to Hutchison. Here is Hutchison leading a 4-man Toronto attack. Pass goes off McKechnie and is cleared ahead for Lambert. Broken up by Hutchison. Maloney is on the left side, over the line. And a waist-high shot. Dryden got it back into the center ice area. Turnbull clearing it ahead. He missed Ellis. Now Turnbull intercepts the pass. Coming down, there's the shot. Off his left ear. That was grabbed by Dryden. That shot was taken from well out. And let's see, somebody is injured there at the Leafs bench.
That's Dan Maloney.
Dan Maloney.
And he got hit on the head with a clearing pass out of the Montreal end zone, just as he was stepping off the ice.
I must confess, Donnie, I did not see it. Did you see the puck come around on the board? He is really stunned.
I think it was Brian Enblum was clearing the puck out of the zone, and he banked it off the glass and caught Maloney just as he was stepping onto the bench.
Very, very tough break right here. Leafs looking on, very concerned, of course. So the Canadians were there right at the beginning as they're going to, what would they tell them? Just hang on, sit tight?
Sit tight, take it easy, clear your head.
There
And,
he goes.
it's something to get, it's one thing to get hit, Dick, and get hurt when the play is going on, but not when you're heading for the bench or sitting on the bench.
That's what you call being blindsided, because obviously he's not looking for that. So Dan Maloney seems to be okay as he gets to the bench. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
I think I'm going to leave this on. What do you think?
Joyce would kill you.
Every year I take it out before we go home. Here.
You keep rubbing it, you're going to wear it off.
Come on, give it time, eh? That's not so bad. No.
It's been the same deal for years. Clean up the cottage, share a little Molson Export, grow another beer.
Guys, just quit hassling me. Hand me a beer, will you?
It's in the cabin.
Molson Export Ale. It keeps on tasting great.
The puck is in the Toronto zone, 1-0 Montreal, leading 13:57 left in the opening period.
I can report that Dan Maloney walked under his own steam down the corridor and into the Maple Leaf dressing room area. And he didn't seem all that the worse for wear. Pat Boutette, he was the one involved in the fight with Mario Tremblay in the first period of Game 1 on Monday night, and it was apparently as a result of that fight that Tremblay suffered his twisted knee that's got him out of action. The Bruins lead 2-1. Cashman and Rattel for Boston, Hamilton for Pittsburgh. And now in the second period, Steve Vickers has given the Rangers a 1-0 lead over Philadelphia.
Now Engblom at the line, clearing it in. In it goes, is chopped in by Schott. To the other side, Boutette is bumping along the boards with Lemaire. Now Salming taking over for the Leafs and leads a 4-man attack. Salming, a beautiful skater, in on the right side he goes. Here he is, down the corner, can he give front? Loose puck, they bang away on it, and it's knocked on the far side. What a brilliant rush that was by number 21, Salming. Now it's cleared to the other side, and Lafleur got it over the glass. Very close call there.
Well, Tiger Williams took a pretty good run at Jacques Lemaire right there. It's the first time that Tiger has done his thing in this series. He was very docile here on Monday night. The big rush by Borja Salming. Donnie, it was really end-to-end.
It's a fine rush, and he's coming up the right side on his backhand. He'll make his cut in front of the net around Brian Engblom. And the play gets jammed up. Brian, I think, gets run in after Dryden makes the stop. There's, I think it must be Tiger Williams who knocks him in. Who else? But the puck stays out.
Well, here he is. This is what I mentioned about Williams and Lemaire up against the glass in the Canadian zone.
Toronto Maple Leafs out shooting Montreal 6-5. But the Canadiens lead the Leafs 1-0 with 13:22 left in the opening period. Robinson behind the net, and Ellis is after him. Robinson leads it out to center to Risebrough to the other side. Turnbull took over. Finally, it's cleared down into Canadiens territory. Robinson back after it with that head fake. He shakes away from Anderson. There's a long left wing pass. Gainey going after it. He and Ellis go in there heavily. It's centered back. It comes. Savard shoots it. And again, that shot, like Robinson's earlier in the period, was away over the top of the net. Now up on the left side. Canadiens keeping it in. It's dropped back. Here's Gainey at the line. Out over the line, Anderson coming down to the Canadiens blue line, couldn't get anywhere. Ellis to the other side to Anderson. Anderson almost lost it to Hughes. And it goes over the boards, cleared in there by Sittler into the Leafs bench.
The Canadiens lead the game 1-0. This is Stanley Cup 79 from the Forum in Montreal.
In the late 1950s, banks weren't in the business of promoting small personal loans. Then one bank made it their business. The bank was Scotiabank, and they're still giving credit where credit is due. If you could use a little help with your dream, whatever your dream, see Scotiabank. They've got everything you need.
Scotiabank, just around the corner, right around the world. Scotiabank.
Face off in the center ice area. And Maloney is back in circulation. He's on left wing. Keckney and McDonald. Now on the left side, Napier ahead. It goes to Hughes. He was belted by Maloney. Maloney ahead to McDonald. Here's McDonald, a rink wide pass stopped by Hughes. Now Savard takes over. Savard clearing it to center. It's chopped back in by the Leafs. Maloney. Hughes and Maloney started to get sticks up on each other. We will watch that pairing. Now the puck inside the Canadiens line, and Savard leads the attack. Dumping it into the corner. Here's Hughes going in. He'll shoot it, and it goes behind the net. Up on the boards for McKechnie. McKechnie's pass finally into the center ice area. Napier to Savard. Robinson over on the other side. In over the line he is. Napier going in. Connor in front of the net. And it's cleared away by Kenville.
Cam Connor's first time on the ice in Stanley Cup play. Almost cashed in. Donnie had to wonder why Mark Napier didn't shoot the puck that time when he seemed to have the clear path up the middle.
Well, we take a look at it, Dick, and the pass will come to Napier, and it looks like another stride or two when he's gone. He was in the clear, actually, and he tried to get the pass to Connors. Connors just couldn't really get the puck when it was in the air.
Now take a look at it here from the low-level camera. Not quite, as Donnie said, just about a step away for Napier. Pierre LaRouche on the ice now at center ice for Montreal. Palmatier saying, oh boy.
Another one of those nights.
Close call. He's played so well.
11 minutes and 31 seconds to play, first period. Salming up on the wing to Boutet. He hits Gardner with it. Gardner looking on the backhand, fires at the rebound, and it's cleared away from Williams by Lapointe. Now Gardner into the corner to the other side. Williams jammed in on the boards by Lambert. The Leafs keep it in. A backhand shot, and it's cleared by Lapointe to the right side. LaRouche is coming down. He has some great moves. This time he can't get by Burroughs. Burroughs stayed right with him. Now Gardner up on the left side. Saganook, there's the shot. Stopped by Dryden. You wonder why he didn't pass it over to Saganook, who was clear on the right side. But Gardner elected to take the shot. There's Burroughs shooting it. He's wide. Saganook off the right wing boards, fired it. Now it comes back near the line. Canadiens, three of them break up. Now two of them go to the bench. Lafleur steps on the ice, goes to the corner, scores!
That's a soft goal, Daddy.
It's a soft goal, but the play, all you can say about it, Dick, the puck was directed at the net. We'll see. Actually, Pierre LaRouche moves up the ice, and Canadians are making a line share. But LaRouche is pretty tired at this time. He got the puck over to save the offside. Watch Lafleur just directed at the net and in off Palmer's leg.
Well, of course, you got to say about Lafleur, he was flying. He wanted to get to that puck first, which he did, but he just threw it out in front of the net. And Paul Matier couldn't handle it. And, of course, he is a little upset, more than a little. And Guy Lafleur has his second point of the night, sixth of the playoffs. In 3.5 periods or so, and the Canadians have a 2-0 lead. Boy, right before that, Danny, that rush that Gardner made with Saganuk, that was a strange one. Now, here's an isolation shot of Paul Matier. There it goes, through the legs. His glove?
It looked like it hit his glove and bounced in between his legs.
Dick, didn't you think he should have passed the
Well, hey, it's easy to say up here, Daddy, of course. Should a player pass? Should a player shoot? I thought Napier should have shot just before that. That was a great chance for the Leafs, though.
And by number 29, Ken Dryden. At 9 minutes and 33 seconds.
9:33. LaRouche and Dryden assisting on the goal by Lafleur. Down the ice it goes. Montreal Canadiens call for icing. Canadiens leading 2-0.
Well, tonight Ken Dryden drew his first NHL assist in a playoff game. And here's Pat Boutet. He has the tough job of checking Guy Lafleur. We asked him about it.
Well, I think Guy Lafleur is a great hockey player, and my job tonight will be mostly just to stay as close as possible to him and try to disrupt him from his game and try to keep him off the board as much as possible.
Now the Canadians shooting it to center. Turnbull clearing it in. This is a reversal of the pattern established in the first game when the Leafs took the 2-0 lead. There's a shot by Gainey. That rapier-like action by Paul Matier, darting out that left leg, made that save. So Paul Matier, the youngster, Dryden. And here is the shot, Dick.
Gainey coming down the left side. He'll take the shot from far out. Paul Matier moving outside the crease, playing it with the pad and the stick.
9 minutes and 46 seconds left in the opening period. Lemaire, Lafleur, and shot against Sittler, Ellis, and Anderson. Here is Anderson lobbing a shot in. Captain Sittler going in there against Savard. Anderson centers it, gobbled up by Robinson. Canadians coming out, the pass. Burroughs takes over inside the Toronto line and feeds it to Salming. Salming a pass back for Anderson, and it's called on the offside.
Well, there's Lemaire, number 25, who missed 10 weeks of the season with a shoulder injury. But as Danny has so often pointed out, he is not the most, certainly the most valuable center man the Canadians have, and in that respect, one of the most valuable in the league. And he had the 2 goals that broke open the game Monday night, game 1.
Dick, I would think most NHL teams, if they were to lose 3 players of the caliber of Jarvis, Trombley, and Oul, would be in serious trouble. But Montreal is such a vast reservoir of talent that such a loss only hurts for a little while until you work the other players in. And they're working in Connor and Napier tonight, and LaRouche. And Montreal in front. 2-0 now. Paul Matier way out of the net. Now shot in on the offside by Gainey. Oh, he's an exciting performer, Paul Matier.
He was out, Danny, between the rim of the circle and the blue line that time. Ah, Danny, don't start the Gary Smith story now. Every year he hasn't brought that one out yet. Tonight, Gary Smith skated out over the red line before the rule was changed. Here it comes. Collision, Paul Matier, Risebrow. Got a piece of him, down he goes.
I'll tell you, if Riseborough wasn't kind, he could have got a pretty good chunk of Mike Paul Matier.
Gary Smith was playing with Toronto that night.
That's right, he was. John Ferguson is here tonight, gentlemen, and Fergie's going to be my guest during the first intermission.
And right now we have the face-off, and that area you're looking at is outside the Toronto line. Burroughs over to Salming. Salming has had perhaps the best Toronto scoring opportunity with that brilliant individual rush earlier in this period. Engblom clearing it on the boards is into the center ice area. Salming over on the other side for Burroughs. Chartrand getting it over the line. Gainey is getting in front. Risebrow shooting it from almost the impossible angle. Salming up on the right side. To the center ice area for Sittler. Sittler shooting it in. Williams dashing to the other side, but Chartrand clearing it into the center ice area. Salming. Back to Burroughs. There's a pass to Ellis. Ellis getting it back to Sittler. He fired it, and he rattled it off the leg of Engblom, who was going down. Now Sittler centering it again in front of the net, and the Canadiens pick it up. Shot down on the left wing. He's over the line. Here's Mondu. Mondu back to Engblom. A shot, a rebound to the other side. Savard clearing it in. McKechnie along the boards. They jam in there. And they get the whistle.
With the score, Montreal 2, Toronto nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Since 1977, we've had ESP. ESP is the Ford Extended Service Plan option. It covers specified repair costs to major components of new Ford and Mercury cars, even light trucks, for 3 years or 60,000 kilometers. ESP also includes towing, a courtesy car, and servicing across Canada and the U.S. The Ford Extended Service Plan. Ask for full details at participating Ford and Mercury dealers.
See the coaches, Bowman and Nielsen. In the long, illustrious history of Toronto, they've had 13 coaches. Nielsen is the 13th. It's not unlucky, although on March the 2nd, it appeared as if it were unlucky. He was fired and then rehired. One of the big stories in hockey in the 78-79 season. McKechnie takes his man, Napier, in on the boards. There's going to be a penalty, the first visitation of the night to the penalty box. Will it be one or two?
Dan Maloney out there, he of course is back in action. Mark Napier gets shaken up as he gets to the Canadiens bench. Napier's very wobbly. Donnie?
Well, McKechnie took him into the boards, and the stick came up a little high, and he's going to get a 5-minute penalty for injury. It looks like as he went in, McKechnie's stick came in a little high on Napier. Oh, there it is, right there. That's a little high. And he's drawing 5 minutes. It has to be a tough time in the period and a tough time in the game for Toronto to draw a 5-minute penalty.
Now the Leafs are arguing the point.
For high sticking at 12 minutes and 13 seconds.
Roger Nielsen obviously displeased with this particular turn of events. He probably knows that yesterday the Canadiens practiced their power play so much during their workout. We'll take a break. The Stanley Cup playoff game coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
Well, we finished most of Charlie's season.
Hey, come on over to our place. Dad's got a few beer on ice.
Sounds great.
For years, the folks around these parts have given a guy a hand and shared a little Molson Export Ale.
Listen, I called the girls to come over for supper.
Terrific. That means we can leave the tractors here for the...
How's that leg, Charlie?
Oh, it's getting along. Say, I sure do owe you guys a vote of thanks.
Hey, what are friends for, eh, Charlie?
Molson Export Ale. It keeps on tasting great.
Montreal Canadiens on the power play. Lapointe over on this side to Lemaire. Lemaire into the corner. Kenville takes Lafleur in on the boards. Lambert has it. He's around the net. He takes a look. Will it go back to the point? Yes, it does. Here's Lapointe over on this side to Lemaire. Lemaire back to Lapointe. There's the shot. And it grazed the outside of the goalpost. Back to Lapointe again. There's the shot. It goes off Palmatier. He ends up in the net. Turnbull is in on the boards, fighting for possession along with Gainey. Turnbull playing it along the boards. Gainey comes up with it. Back to Lapointe. Lapointe into Gainey. Gainey to Lapointe over this side to Lemaire. Lemaire into Lafleur. Lafleur takes a look. It goes to Gainey. He fired it, and it was blocked by Turnbull. Canadians still in possession. Here's Lapointe. In it goes to Lafleur. Lemaire getting set for a shot. Takes the shot, the rebound, and Palmatier very quickly comes on the rebound.
And all of that consumed 1 minute and 3 seconds of the penalty time. Assessed to Walt McKechnie, who's off for 5 minutes.
Canadians controlled the puck quite well, but always on the outside of the box, and when they finally did get the shots, only from the point. Now, Toronto's a team with a lot of heart, and this is going to be one of the tests for them right now early in the game. They have to kill this 5 minutes off, or else they're going to be 3 goals down or possibly 4 goals down, and they cannot afford it at this stage of the game.
Well, you mentioned Toronto, a team with a lot of heart. As we mentioned in the first broadcast, this is an outstanding hockey organization when it comes to playoff competition. They do the unexpected, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right now, they are behind 2-0. Incidentally, McKechnie is going to be assessed a $50 fine along with the 5-minute major. That assessment of money is a result of a major where an injury has been sustained by the opponent. Savard back at the line. 3 minutes and 48 seconds left. And the major penalty to McKechnie, Lafleur, along with Savard and Robinson. Out there also, Shutt and Mondu. Coming out, Lafleur leading the attack into the center ice area. Across the line, Lafleur along the boards. Now he takes a look, dropping it back to Savard. There's the shot, he's wide with it. Shutt back to Lafleur. In for Shutt again. The Leafs with that box. That shot hit Robinson behind the net. It goes to Mondu. Mondu jammed into the boards by Salming. Mondu gets up. He's going to try and come up with it. And Salming cleared it over the glass outside of the line.
Well, here's the player who's going to have to do most of the work on this penalty, Barry Salming, as he heads to the bench. A fine hockey player. No, he's going to stay out there, and he's going to see a lot of ice time during this 5-minute penalty. 3 minutes, 7 seconds left to go.
So we're looking at Salming and move along to Lafleur, who is now going to the Montreal bench. So let's pick up the new power play alignment. We have LaRouche at center, Lambert on one wing, Shutt on the other. Lemaire and Lapointe on the points. Jones and Butler up front as penalty killers for Toronto. On defense, Burroughs and Salming. 2-0. Montreal leading in this first period with 5:40 left. Doing the forechecking effectively, Jones and Butler. Now the Canadians start out. There's a pass to LaRouche. LaRouche at center. Takes his time. Over to Lemaire. Lemaire in along the boards. He and Salming go down. Jones covering up against LaRouche, and they'll get a face-off in the Toronto zone.
In our first intermission, we've got quite a treat for you. Donnie Marshall is going to talk with Jacques Plante about goaltending in the playoffs. I don't know whether Donnie will say very much. He might do a lot of listening, but Jacques Plante will be along with Donnie. We'll have highlights from the games played elsewhere on Monday night when the quarterfinals open, and I'll be chatting with John Ferguson in from Winnipeg at the game here in Montreal tonight. All this during our first intermission.
So McKechnie, this is his first playoff series since 1968. A long time between series, but he's been brilliant this year against Atlanta. He had a couple of goals in that opening game. He has 3 goals and 2 assists so far. There's Lafleur shooting it. Turnbull off the boards. Lafleur passing it back. It's out over the line, and the Canadians will have to come back to regroup. The Leafs still with Butler and Jones. Now Lapointe shooting it in. Along the boards it comes. Lemaire slapping it back. And now Toronto starting out. Turnbull ahead to Butler. Butler going in. Checked by Guy Lapointe. Now Butler on his knees trying to center it. Canadians. Lambert playing it back in. That took a fine defensive play by Lapointe to stymie Butler, who was just ready to whistle that slap shot. And fairly close in. Kenville shooting it back to center. Here is Butler over the line against Gainey, and the Leafs doing an excellent job killing off this major penalty to this point. 1 minute and 41 seconds left.
Frank Bafe has scored for Philadelphia. They have tied the Rangers 1-1 in the first period at the Spectrum. Donnie, after that first flurry, as the Canadians control the puck, people like Jimmy Jones have done a fine job weathering this storm for Toronto.
I think it'll be a big plus to Toronto, and possibly a little letdown for Montreal if no goals are scored. Toronto are down 2-0 right now. They only have 1 minute and 41 seconds left in the penalty, and if they survive it, they're going to be a tough team.
The word on Mark Napier is he's been cut in the upper lip for possibly 9 or 10 stitches.
Salming scooping it in on the left side. Now Ellis is out there as the penalty killer along with Sittler. Robinson headmans the puck to Lafleur, dashing over on the right side into Toronto territory. Getting set to pass it perhaps. Let's see. Back it goes to Lapointe. Robinson is on the left side. In it goes. Mondeau missed it. Lafleur to Mondeau. Mondeau back to Robinson. Here's Robinson to Lapointe. He shot it, and it went off Ellis's leg. Lafleur and Ellis fight for it. On the boards. Lafleur getting it. Lapointe over on this side. Robinson wound up. Got it back to Lapointe. Right in front it comes. Loose puck. Palmetier clearing it back. Now it comes back into Mondeau from Lapointe. Is off. Mondeau's stick over the glass.
Still not what you could call a real good belt on the net, gentlemen, on the part of the Canadians through all of this.
The Canadians have worked the outside the box consistently through the penalties, but they have not had a shot from the center. They have not had a good scoring chance.
No, Leafs have done a great job. Ellis did a fine job on Lafleur there along the boards. McKechnie in the box, 49 seconds left in his penalty. He was sent off for 5 minutes.
Jones and Butler are back on for Toronto. Robinson up on the left side. LaRouche at center. Shot on the other wing. Lapointe and Lemire, the other members of the power play, but it has not been too potent for 4.5 minutes. And most of the credit, of course, has to do with the fine work by the Toronto defending team. Now Point took a shot wide. It's sent right in from the net. Cleared away. Butler starting out into the center ice area. Robinson is going to get a penalty, and in 20 seconds, the Toronto Maple Leafs will have the advantage. It'll be a hooking charge, I would think.
The Canadians lead the Leafs 2-0 live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
At Mutual Life, most of us learn about being a parent the same way you do, firsthand. So we understand your hopes for tomorrow, because we share them. And when you go to buy life insurance for yourself, we know who you're really thinking of, because we know what you know.
Life is a mutual affair.
Hey, 3:07 left in the period. And they're playing 5 aside, and if the Leafs got a lift by killing off successfully that major penalty, it could be demonstrated when they get their opportunity for the application of the power play, and that'll come in 20 seconds with the proviso, of course, there are no further penalties. McKechnie back in 20 seconds. Right now, we have Montreal out shooting Toronto 11-9. And the Canadians with the 2 goals, leading 2-0. Now Salming working in there, fires the shot, it's blocked. Turnbull clearing it into the corner. Engblom on the left side to Gainey, he gets rid of it to center. Now a half dozen seconds left in McKechnie's penalty. The pass goes to Turnbull, he whipped the shot, the rebound. The Leafs now have the advantage. Salming clearing it in there for Williams. On the boards, McKechnie comes off the corner area, couldn't get it, and Gainey shoots it down the ice. Gardner is coming off the Leafs bench. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the penalty. Over the line goes Gardner. He passed it right on to Gainey's stick. Salming, Sittler, Turnbull, Gardner, and McDonald on the power play for Toronto. 4-man attack is led now by Salming out over the line. He lugs that puck very well, cleared it up to the line. Snapping it back down the ice, Lapointe. Less than a minute to go in the penalty. 53 seconds. Now Turnbull out over the line. They come out slowly. Turnbull at center, cleared it into the corner. There's Sittler going in. A couple of broken sticks on the ice. Salming stops it, takes the shot, he's wide with it. McDonald to the other side against Lambert. Into the corner. Here's Gardner right in front. And Sittler couldn't make contact. The pass was a little too hard. But Sittler was left there all alone, looking right into the mask of Mr. Dryden. Now McDonald coming down on the left side. In over the line. Sittler coming in from the right side. It's around the net. Lapointe clearing it, and it went over the glass. That looked like a great setup for Sittler.
I think Paul Gardner just couldn't believe what was happening as Sittler was standing all alone in front of the net, and the puck went over a stick, really. As we look at Lanny McDonald, who is really one of the mainstays of the Toronto team, both offensively and defensively. We'll take it here as Gardner comes out of the corner. Sittler is all alone in front of the net, and he really can't control the pass. Good chance, shot.
Don't you think that perhaps that it can be a criticism of a lot of players? They pass that puck a little too hard.
You have to pass it fast, Danny, and especially when you see one of your players standing in front of the net by himself. You have to get it there because you know that blue shirt is going to attract a lot of white shirts, and very quickly.
Well, what's the good of getting it there quickly if the potential recipient can't hold on to it? However, we'll have that debate later. Back behind the Toronto net, Burroughs clearing it on the boards for Anderson. The penalty has expired to Robinson. We have 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the opening period. Anderson shooting it in. McKechnie going in after Dryden. It comes back. Wheeling away for Montreal. Risebrough head to Lafleur. Lafleur dropping it back, and Anderson cleared it back into the center ice area. 45 seconds left in the period. 2-0 for Montreal. Long, harmless shot by Lemaire. Kenville around the net, playing it up on the left side. Loney to McKechnie. McKechnie's pass grabbed off neatly by Kenville. Kenville over the line, takes a shot. That wasn't particularly hard, but it came from the angle and came unexpectedly, and Dryden seemed to have some trouble with it.
We take a look at Joel Kenville, who made a fine play at center ice to get the puck into the Canadian zone, and he looks like a fine prospect for in the future for Toronto's big, strong player.
Now with 24 seconds left in the period, the face-off will be to the right of Dryden. Dryden has played 5,971 minutes, less 24 seconds for the Montreal Canadiens. He's played every minute that he's been an active member of the Canadiens Hockey Club. Of course, he sat out in 73-74. Big Dryden. He made his mark in that 71 playoffs against Boston. Remember that familiar pose? Leaning on the stick. Now from the face-off, Canadians starting out. Chartrand ahead to Lemaire to Lambert. Lambert dashing in there, trying to center it. It's to the other side. Lemaire is bumped by Maloney. McDonald whips it down the ice right on Dryden. And they'll just about run out the period now. Robinson with 2 seconds to Chartrand. And that is the period. Toronto outshot Montreal 12-11. But the Canadians got the goals. So the score at the end of the first period, Montreal 2, Toronto nothing.
That's a nice cold eggs for the winners, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see that for the losers, huh?
Just about every weekend, Rick and the guys get together for some good times and some Molson Export Ale.
The time is right, your friends are here. You couldn't ask for a better beer. Export keeps on tasting great when the time is right for great beer.
Well, what do you guys say to a little rematch in the morning?
Hey, you know what you guys got to do to win this trophy back, don't you? Hire me as your anchor man.
Export keeps on tasting great when the time is right for great beer.
Water power. For nearly 100 years, Canadian General Electric has been helping turn this natural resource into electricity, bringing progress to Canadians. Today, CGE is Canada's leader in high-voltage technology, which transmits that power more efficiently than ever before to industries like this giant steel mill, where it's put to work helping provide products and jobs for Canadians. Progress for people from Canadian General Electric.
Montreal Canadiens leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0 at the end of the first period. Kind of a strange period in a way. I wouldn't say that either Montreal goal was of the clean-cut variety. Bob Gainey got credit for the first one. The puck carried him off his skate. Lafleur and Lemaire assisting at 2:50, and then Guy Lafleur from the corner of the rink when it banked in off Mike Palmateer, LaRouche and Dryden assisting. The Leafs outshot the Canadiens 12-11 and did a great job of killing that major penalty to Walt McKechnie. Well, we have something just a little bit different for you right now. Donnie Marshall plays the role of interviewer as he chats with his former teammate, Jacques Plante.
Jacques, to my mind, there isn't anybody better qualified to talk about goalkeepers. Would you describe the two styles of Palmateer and Dryden?
Well, they're completely opposite. Palmateer is a short goaltender. Dryden is tall one. Palmateer goes all over the ice. He goes behind the net. He's a good passer. He used the V style like Esposito does and that. In a scramble, he's got his nose to the ice. When the play's coming at him, he's way out in front of the net in front and goes down his knees. He's about 3 or 4 feet to block his angles. On the side, he rushes out to block his angle. On the other side, you have Dryden that stands up most of the time. He's got a long reach. He plays back at the net quite a bit, and because he's got a long reach, he can get by. High shots don't beat him too often because of his height also. If you look at his pads, when he's kneeling down, he's got one knee that's almost 3/4 up in the net, so even there. And tonight it happened in the first period. He missed the puck completely. The puck hit the top of his pad and went over the net. But on the other hand, Dryden doesn't go out of the net too much. When he goes behind the net, he seems to get in trouble. And he seems to fumble the puck in there. And at one time tonight, too, he didn't even bother going there. It certainly hurts his game in that capacity because when he's pressed there, the puck is loose and the other team can't get it. Also, because Dryden plays back, he gives a lot of rebound. He kicks it out. But outside of that, the two of them are going to be tested quite often in this series.
Montreal, they have a lot of big shooters. Does Palmateer have to be aware of anything special playing against Montreal?
Yes, he's got to make sure that he charges out every time that one of them shoots. But Lemaire shot tonight, one went between his legs, and it just so happened that he was down. The next one, he hit, last thing, the 2 goal posts, and they were bullet shot. Lafleur shot his, just hitting the crossbar and the side of the net, way up at the top of the net. All those guys have big shots. They can hit the net. And if they have a chance to shoot from the slot, anywhere from the slot, Palmateer's got to be way out of the net. And what happens is what we've seen tonight a few times. He moves right out on the side to play the puck carrier, but then they just slide the puck over in front and somebody has an open net.
Well, what about Kenny Dryden at the other end of the ice? Palmateer has the hard shot. Kenny doesn't get the quantity, and actually he doesn't get the quality of shots. What's his problem?
Well, Dryden, it's been like this with Canadian for years. He doesn't have much work, but he has to be able to keep his mind on the puck all the time. And when they come in, they don't give him enough credit for that. If you see him go out of the net when he has a chance to get there, if it's a puck shot to the opposite corner, he gets there, plays his stick well. He's a good shooter, can pass the puck well, has a very, very good glove. The only problem with Dryden is to stay in the game. But then when they come down his end, normally he has a man or two trying to check the opposition, and if there's a rebound, they can clear it away.
All right, Jacques, thank you. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
As a boy, I loved to fish. Now I own a fleet. With every catch, the company used to get tangled up with paperwork. Then I heard of AES word processing systems. Our productivity doubled without any complaints. In fact, they thank me. Store work on diskettes. Make revisions on the screen. Type perfect copies at 540 words per minute. The money AES saves me this year could help buy another boat.
Before you buy any small car, compare Pinto's price. The Pinto 2-door sedan is $200 less than Honda Civic, $500 less than Datsun 210, $800 less than Toyota Corolla, and $1,400 less than VW Rabbit. All price comparisons based on manufacturer's suggested retail prices, transportation and handling charges extra. Ford Pinto. It may be the best small car value in Canada.
Here at the Montreal Forum, after one period of this second game in the Canadiens Maple Leafs quarterfinal, Montreal lead Toronto by a score of 2-0. The quarterfinals opened on 4 fronts on Monday night, and it was certainly a case of home sweet home as far as the theme song was concerned. The home teams coming out the winner In every case, a couple of the games were one-sided, a couple not so, and one of them went into overtime. So a pretty good start all around. And we are going to take a look now at highlights from the games played elsewhere. For tonight, the Boston Bruins were leading the Penguins 2-1. The Flyers and the Rangers were in a 1-1 tie. No score in the first period. The Islanders and the Blackhawks, and we'll bring you highlights from the other series throughout our playoff coverage. Well, one fella who's been watching the game live tonight and watching those highlights and who feels he's going to be around next year when the playoffs are in, John Ferguson in from Winnipeg, now general manager of the Jets. Great to see you again, Fergie, and what's it make you feel like get back in this building?
Well, Dick, I'll tell you one thing. Billy Southern and myself came into the building tonight, and the atmosphere that once we got off that plane today, the atmosphere was here. So that's great playoff hockey, and we're glad to be back.
John, a big story out of Winnipeg is the fact that the building is now going to be adjusted to accommodate an NHL team. What's the situation?
Well, we're looking for an expansion to 16,000, Dick, and it'll take place right after the last game of our playoff season, and hope to be finished before September the 18th. So training camp starts about that time. So we're all pretty excited in Winnipeg, and we're selling a lot of season tickets, and everybody's working very hard. And of course, we got this year to get over with and win the Avco Cup. Right. But on the other hand, it's pretty exciting in the West.
Throughout the West, I was going to say Edmonton. We read they lined up all night for tickets. The fans, they got that first disappointment. John, what's the reaction now?
Well, it's a complete turnover, of course, and the fan reaction at first was something that you had to be there to believe it. But everybody seems to be quite happy about it now, and a lot of people are planning for next year. And really, it's just incredible, the interest in the hockey, and you know, even right now, the NHL interest is even higher out in the West, and it's just great for hockey, and it's going to be good for hockey all through the country. You know,
helped your crowds, hasn't it?
It certainly has, and it's helped everybody's crowds, and it's what it's really done for hockey is that Canadian content into it, and you know, we were getting pretty Americanized there for a while. I'm glad everybody in Canada got together, and now we're back in one league, and everybody will benefit from it, Dick.
John, a lot of people wonder, I guess it's too early to say, you know, how will the new teams be from a competition standpoint? With so many drafts and that coming up, you can't really sit here and answer that question.
Well, Dick, you know, one thing the NHL people are going to see, are they going to see the Mark Howes and the Gretzkys and the Morris Lupowiczes and names they haven't seen or known before, and those kids can play. And, you know, all our scouts are covering the Central League, the National Hockey League, of course, and American Hockey League and the International Hockey League. We're looking everywhere for hockey players, and, you know, when the draft comes up in June, we're going to be prepared in Winnipeg, and we just got to cover the market all over. University hockey in Europe, everywhere we go, we got to be covering a hockey game. But like I say, it was too early to really say, but we'll have a hockey club in Winnipeg, believe it.
John, very quickly, did you really offer Henri Richard a contract after you saw him in the Old Timers game in Montreal?
Yes, I did, Dick, because he had played 50 games of the Old Timers, and he was in pretty good condition. So he was always a great playoff performer, and I did offer him a contract.
How about your own play? Did you assess it and offer yourself a contract? No?
No, I got a pretty good hockey club. We're ready.
Okay, John, thank you very much. Great to see John Ferguson again. The Canadiens lead after 1, 2-0. We'll return with Stanley Cup 79 in just a moment.
Compare the all-new trim-size Ford LTD to this year's Chevy Impala. You'll find Ford LTD has 6 inches more front seat hip room than Chev, more shoulder room too. Compare LTD's comfort with more back seat room for legs, knees, shoulders, and hips. Compare LTD's trunk. It's 3 cubic feet bigger. Get outside, Ford and Chev are virtually the same size. Trim size outside, full size inside. Test drive the 79 Ford LTD.
Quaker State Motor Oil helps cars last.
Quaker State gives my truck real protection on the hottest days and helps it start on the coldest mornings, too.
Quaker State, that's the protection I want for stop-and-go city driving.
I've been driving this car for over 5 years. Use nothing but Quaker State in it.
Quaker State Motor Oil helps cars last.
Maybe that's why it's the best-selling motor oil in North America.
Montreal Canadiens leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0 on goals by Gainey and Lafleur at the end of one period. Not a classic period of hockey from the point of view of excitement and outstanding plays, but there was one development in that period, Donnie Marshall, I'd like you to talk about. The Toronto Maple Leafs' ability to kill off that major penalty to McKechnie without giving up a goal, that has to be a psychological plus for Toronto.
It has to be good for them, a good feeling, Danny, because the last game, Monday night, they had 2 power play goals scored against them, and that really was the game. And they want a hit. I really think they want a hit, but they're afraid to take the penalties. And they might be over that hump right now. They killed off 5 straight minutes, and in doing so, they might have turned the tide. Canadians were coming on very strong, and they kept them off the score sheet. They're just liable to get a good feeling and come out in the second period on the offensive.
Okay, Donnie, I think we're almost set for the start of the second period, live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Now, from Braun into the domain of the rotary shaver comes the new Braun Micron. Look, this is the shaving area of the rotary head. The Braun Micron foil is 30% thinner for a closer, cleaner shave. The thinner the foil, the closer Braun shaves. Our design is to shave you closer than the rotary. The new Braun Micron.
Bright guy, Tony. When he put a new set of tires on his truck, he decided to go first class and pick the one and only Michelin. Liked Michelin quality so much, put a set on his family wagon. And even on his motorbike. The one and only Michelin.
It's the only tire I'd own.
Michelin.
The scoring plays in that opening period at 2:50, Gainey, his first playoff goal from Lafleur and Lemaire. And then at 9:33, Lafleur his second goal in the playoffs, LaRouche and Dryden assisting. Shots on goal, 12-11 in favor of Toronto. Turnbull had 4 shots for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Gardner had 3. For the Montreal Canadiens, 2 shots by Lapointe, Schutt, Gainey, and Lemaire. Donnie Marshall, press will have more hitting in this period.
It's possible, Danny, but it might go the way it did Monday night, where there was a lot of hitting in the first period, and the team settled down after that. Toronto have played well in the first period. There have not been very many good scoring chances, and there have been few by Canadians, so they might be content to play it as it is. Both goals scored by Canadians came really on clearing passes out of the corner. One that Gainey got a hold of, but the other one went in off Mike Palmateer. And Toronto have to feel that they're not out of this game. One penalty for Montreal, a good power play or a good shot, a good play, scores 2-1, and they're back in this game again.
And in the other games being played tonight in the second period, the New York Rangers lead Philadelphia Flyers 2-1. Boston with a 2-1 lead over Pittsburgh. That's in the second period. The game at Long Island, no score between Chicago and the New York Islanders. That is early into the second period. This series will resume in Toronto with games on Saturday and Sunday. Note that, Saturday and Sunday. The games were originally scheduled for Friday and Sunday. There's the captain, Sittler, and the summary which we just gave you, Gainey and Lafleur. And the referee is over there at the penalty box. I don't know what the kernel of the discussion is there. And that is holding up the game for the nonce at least. The Toronto Maple Leafs have gone 10 games, including last year's semifinal playoff series, without a victory at the Forum in Montreal. You know, their last win was the 2-1 score in favor of Toronto, of course, March the 24th. That was back in 1976. Since then, they have lost 9 games, 2 in 1978 playoffs, and they tied 1 at the Montreal Forum. So we are ready now for the start of period number 2. Lemaire at center, Gainey and Lafleur on the wings for Montreal, Sittler between Anderson and McDonald for Toronto. Salming on defense with Burroughs, Robinson and Savard on defense for Montreal, and the lawyer for the defense is Dryden, the big, lanky lawyer from Hamilton. Well, this is getting off to a very slow start. Now they finally get the period underway. Salming over to Burroughs. Here is Salming, lugging it down on the right side. He clears it into Canadiens territory. Anderson going in after Dryden. Picked up by McDonald. Anderson chasing it along the boards, back into McDonald. McDonald fired it off the glove of Dryden. That was a close call. The pass back. Grabbed off by Gainey, coming down with Lafleur. Gainey gathering speed in on the right side. Taken in the boards by Burroughs. Anderson sidestepped Gainey. Ahead to Sittler. McDonald is on the right side. He's going in against Robinson. Now Robinson scoops it to the boards. McDonald with it. Back it goes to Burroughs. There's a shot. And Robinson got in front of that. Gainey with Lafleur and Lemaire over the line. Lafleur winds up, fired a sizzling shot. Rebound cleared by Palmateer. Robinson is bumped by McDonald. Now Palmateer out of the goal and gives it to McDonald. Montreal making changes while the play goes on. Lambert has it in Toronto territory into the corner. It goes to Risebrough. He's bumping there with Salming. Sittler to McDonald. McDonald propels it down the ice, and this could be icing against the Toronto Maple Leafs with Lapointe back there.
Now Roger Nielsen back of the Maple Leaf bench in his second year as coach in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and of course last year at this time the Leafs were involved in that very dramatic and heart-stopping quarterfinal against the Islanders. They survived. Roger's still looking for his first win against Scotty Bowman and the Canadiens. Ron Gressler has scored. The Rangers lead Philadelphia 2-1 at the end of one. And we announced Cashman is scoring for Boston. Change that to Foster. Bruins lead the Penguins 2-1.
And it is 2-0 here at the Forum of Montreal. Canadiens leading. Maloney starting out to McKechnie. Ellis is on the far side. McKechnie getting set from the corner to pass it. It went off Dryden. There's a sharp angle shot by Turnbull. Now Risebrough ahead to Napier. Napier had to go off his skate. He was breaking in there, took the shot to the side of the net. Here's Napier with that head fake around the net right out in front. A shot, and it was blocked by Hutchison. On the right side for Ellis, hitting the Montreal line, along with Maloney and Hutchison. McKechnie follows in. Canadians can't get out. Finally, it's Engblom. Engblom ahead to Napier. That is an offside flag. Canadians do not think so.
From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 79.
Whatever needs painting around your house, and whatever your budget, you can be sure that your Benjamin Moore dealer has the right paint for the job, in any color your heart desires, plus the know-how to help you get the best results. Yes, you get beauty, protection, quality, and value with a complete line of Benjamin Moore paints. Your Benjamin Moore dealer really knows paint.
And there is the man from Winnipeg, Tony Marshall's friend, John Ferguson. Up on the left side, Salming clearing it in. Now Hughes, ahead to Mondu. There is shot winding up, a hard shot, but blocked easily by Paul Matier. Mondu back to Robinson. Into the corner for Mondu. Shot trying to shake off Boutet. Gets it back to Robinson. The shot right on the rebound. Hughes trying to get it. Boutet coming up with it for Toronto. Hands it off to Salming. Salming to Gardner. Gardner is bumped by Robinson. There's a shot right on by Hughes. Paul Matier had to come up with a save on that close-in shot. Up on the left side for Tiger Williams at center. He shoots it into Canadiens territory. Robinson moving in to take over, but Boutet may get it. Boutet gets it. He centered it right in front. Chartrand cleared it away. Chartrand ahead to Lafleur. Over to Schutt. Schutt across the line, waiting for Lafleur and Chartrand. The pass is intercepted by Williams. Williams coming down at center, takes the long shot. Riding ahead to Gainey, 2-0 Montreal in front in the second period, and Gainey ripped that shot into the corner. Lemaire going in. Turnbull clearing it ahead on the left side to Anderson. McDonald is over on the wing. It's intercepted by Gainey. Gainey rolled it gently ahead to Lemaire. In behind the Leaf net, there is Turnbull, an excellent rushing defenseman. He leads the attack. Lugging it to center. He's down to the line. Takes the shot off Dryden's arm. Into the corner. Sittler going after it. His centering pass gobbled up by Lapointe, and he cleared it out. Now the Leafs again. Donald couldn't get anywhere. Here it goes to Lemaire. Lemaire getting set. Fired it. The rebound. And it's grabbed off by Sittler. Paul Matier is so quick in that reflex action. Here's Sittler over the line. A drop pass goes to McDonald. He fired it, and Dryden had to make a good save on that quick shot. Wrist shot by McDonald. Here is Savard. Savard coming out into the center ice area. Burroughs back to Kenville. Kenville on the left side. Bouncing shot. Savard ahead to Lambert. Lafleur picking up a loose puck. Coming down to the line, takes the shot, and that was called on the offside.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
That's perfect, sweetheart.
Don't go. Don't go, Foster.
Tide's running, Mr. Grant. Okay.
Take me with you, Foster.
Too dangerous.
Why?
This business is crawling with spies. When your name is Foster Grant, you expect a little envy.
Johnny, Jacques Lemaire has what they call a heavy shot.
And a very accurate, Dick, and we'll see Mike Palmateer make the save here from the... Kicks it out. He moves out, as we said, always challenge. Jacques Pont said he moves out and challenges the shooters.
1 second away from the 5th minute mark into the second period. Montreal leading 2-0 on first period. Goals by Gainey and Lafleur. Maloney clearing it in. Saganuk is out there now, number 8, along with McKechnie and Maloney. Montreal starting Into the center ice area. There's Napier with that head fake barging in there. Finally, he was bumped by Burroughs, and they both went down. Here's Robinson, a quick shot. Loose puck in front. Backhand shot by Napier, and Palmateer had to be very, very quick again.
Well, here in this second period, Palmateer's been quite a story as we look at Darryl Sittler of the Maple Leaf bench. Donnie, as we saw in the first period, the Canadiens' goals, those pucks are coming in front. They're being deflected at him. Makes it pretty tough.
He's a good goalkeeper, Dick. Very, very quick and very active, and I think he's in the game, and I think he's a good influence on the rest of his team. He works hard, and they're going to have to work hard for him.
I like the goaltenders like him. Lots of pep. They get out, challenge, as you say. Talk more about that later.
The Leafs get the draw. Salming jostling along with Lambert. Lambert prevails. There's a shot from the short side by Risebrow. McKechnie starting down into the center ice area. Right wing pass. Saginaw takes the shot. It's off Engblom's stick. And the second playoff game souvenir.
Gentlemen, you are both a little older than I am. Was Jacques Plante the first to sort of challenge the shooter, as the old cliche goes? You know, was he that really made a style of that was copied by others? Or were there others in your day?
I would have to think so, because your dad
Your day, I
said so often, Dick, that Plante revolutionized goaltending. And one of the things he meant, of course, was the way he moved out of the goal. Sam Pollock. Sam was at the game the other night, so he's working on a winning streak. So far, Williams clearing it in. Gardner going after Engblom. Off the boards for Hughes. The neat pass to Mondu. Mondu going down with Engblom. Engblom to Mondu. Trying to pass it back. Now it's off a leg. Turnbull. Ahead it goes to Gardner. Williams coming up on the play. Pass over the other side to Ellis. He fired his shot going for that upper corner, but he was wide. Into the corner. And they blow the whistle. Here's one for you, Dick. Who was George Romero?
All right, hang on. I'll get to that in a minute. First, here's Pat Hughes. We asked him his feelings before his first ever Stanley Cup game.
Well, it's my first Stanley Cup playoff game. I'm really excited about that. And it's my first time this year I played Toronto. And being from Toronto, I'm a little excited about that, too.
He was welcome to the playoffs with a pretty good check from Maloney in the first period, Salming in the second. Is he any relation to Cesar Romero?
You should know this because it's close to home. He was associated with the Toronto Maple Leafs organization.
Well,
Reason why I mention his name, because Conn Smythe is here tonight, and he was the first coach ever for Toronto. Didn't last very long because Conn Smythe took over that first year, 1927-28. There's a left wing pass. Gainey going in on goal. Weak backhander. In behind the net. Williams and Chartrand did some bumping. Gainey trying to keep it in. Ellis takes over. Let's see. Penalty coming up here.
Who gets it?
I think Tiger Williams going to go into the penalty box.
We're both hanging on. The
Well,
Canadiens lead the Leafs 2-0. This is Stanley Cup 79 from the Forum in Montreal.
What's it take to brew a great light beer? Had one yet?
Tiger Williams off for hooking at 6:44. I don't know if we're going to catch where it was Gainey he was involved with. The camera follows Gainey. Watch Williams from in behind. There it is. So the Canadiens have a power play chance.
13 minutes and 16 seconds left in the second period. Montreal 2, Toronto no score. It's cleared down the ice by Burroughs. Lemaire is on with Mondu, Lambert, Lafleur, and Robinson on the power play for the Canadiens. Butler and Jones up front. Burroughs. Here's Lemaire going in, a goal! Goal!
Tony, we talked about Paul Matier. He wanders, but a goaltender, of course, in a situation like that, it's a bit of a gamble. That time he lost it.
It was a gamble he lost. He might have been a little slow coming out, Dick, but that's a little hindsight. Leading up to the play, some excellent passing by the Canadiens. Very crisp. And here's the puck. Lemaire's going to catch it at the blue line. He's going to break in, and he just really gets a piece of it in. It's more or less a golf shot.
Right.
Over Paul Matier into the top of the net.
Chipped it right off Paul Matier, I think. Really, we might get a better look at that if the puck does hit Paul Matier. Lafleur's going to get another assist. Here it comes. Watch Paul Matier. Oh, yeah. The stick's got there right up under the top crossbar. 3-0 Montreal on the power play goal by Lemaire. His third goal of this series. Lafleur with 3 points tonight, 7 overall in the series, and we haven't quite reached the halfway mark of this second game.
Goal scored by number 25, Jacques Lemaire, assisted by number 10, Guy Lafleur, and by number 19, Larry Robinson, at 7 minutes and 1 second.
7 minutes and 1 second into the second period. Power play goal for Montreal. Canadiens the 3, Leafs no score. Now up on the left wing. Here's Lemaire going after that pass from Schutt. Burroughs clearing it out. Lafleur back in his own zone. Lapointe handing it to Engblom. Lemaire has it ahead. It goes to Schutt. Schutt over the line. Schutt still with it. Schutt dropping it back. Nobody on the left point. And Engblom into the center ice area gives it to Lapointe. Back to Engblom. Canadiens, 4 of them at center. There's a pass for Lemaire. He got rid of it against Burroughs. They're in on the boards. They might get a whistle. They do. With 11:57 left in the second period.
They're at the end of the second period in Boston. The Bruins lead Pittsburgh 3-2. McNabb the third Boston goal. Kindrachuk the second Penguin goal. Donnie, another look at the goal by Lemaire.
Now we're going to take a look at Mike Palmatier here. He seems, Dick, really to take a long time to decide to come out. I think if he had moved in a little faster, he would have been better or stayed in the net. But, you know, we're guessing on a goalkeeper, and it's tough to do.
Here's Robinson whipping a shot, blocked by Palmatier. Gainey along the boards after Anderson. Chartrand looking for a loose puck, and the play is stopped. Of the 8 goals Montreal has scored so far, Lemaire, Lafleur, and Schutt have 6.
Well, we look at the overall record of these teams in the playoffs and at Ian Turnbull, a Maple Leaf defenseman who played minor hockey here in the Montreal area.
Sittler centering for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Risebrough, number 8 for Montreal. Now Paul Matier is saying something to the referee. From the face-off, Gainey going after it. It's back, out over the line. Robinson couldn't hold it in. Anderson going after Robinson, who shot it off the boards. Here is Gainey with Risebrough and Chartrand. Gainey speeding in on the left side. Gainey puts on the brakes, drops it back. Here it goes. Savard over on the wing, takes the shot, screen shot, puck loose in front of the net. And Anderson comes up with it in the nick of time for Toronto. Anderson, an excellent skater, over the line, drop pass to Sittler, into Anderson. Anderson around the net. Canadiens starting out. Risebrough tipping it to center. Turnbull, he's going to have a go at it. He's in over the line. Sittler along the board. Lost it to Napier, and Savard takes over. Maloney stopped it. He cleared it across the goal mouth, and Montreal got rid of it. Now here is Sittler with Maloney, checking his Risebrow. That's an offside against the Leafs.
With the score, the Canadiens 3, the Maple Leafs nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Ryder rents trucks, all kinds of trucks. And Ryder does everything possible to make sure the wipers work, the headlights work, the brakes and steering and transmissions have been checked out. So practically nothing can stop a Ryder truck. Because when you rent trucks, you don't want them to give you problems. You want them to solve your problems. Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
Danny, there is Major Conn Smythe. How great it is to see him back here in the Montreal Forum.
He has been one of the great architects of National Hockey League. And I presume he had his chat with Mr. Selke, if Mr. Selke is here tonight. I don't see him in his familiar seat, though. Lanny McDonald, mustachioed and gum-chewy, winger of the Toronto Maple Leafs. McKechnie at center, Maloney and Ellis on the wings against Mondeau, Lambert, and Napier. Nearing the midway mark in the second period, 3-0 for the Canadiens, and it's Maloney clearing it in. Dryden knocking it to the wing, and it goes over the glass.
That was Mark Napier. Last report, he was due for 9 or 10 stitches in the upper lip area. You perhaps see it there as a result of that McKechnie incident in the first period. Fergie, talking to me, Danny, off camera, was impressed with Napier in that first period.
Well, he came to the Canadiens with great credentials. There's a shot right on by Ellis. How important it is to get that puck back to the man poised. Ellis was there, and it had to be a splendid save by Dryden to keep the Leafs from scoring on that one.
McKechnie winning the draw. There it comes.
This time, however, Montreal getting the draw. It's cleared down on the left side. Salming in his own zone. Salming gets it out to McKechnie. McKechnie clears it to the side. Salming is racing after it. And it goes over the glass again.
There's Pierre Mondeau. Scotty Bowman having to shake up the lines quite a bit here tonight because of the injuries. Mondeau centering Napier and Lambert right here. He's taking a shot away from Lambert and Lafleur, but Gainey in there.
Now, Lambert shovels the shot wide. In on the boards. Napier along with Burroughs. Mondeau has to contend with McKechnie. Mondeau having lost his stick. Now he one-hands it. That was McKechnie's stick, actually. And they get another whistle. So the action at very close quarters.
Take a look at Maloney, who is one of the muscle men of the Toronto club, and he'll have to use his body a little more to keep Montreal in this game.
Well, in our second intermission tonight, the old-timers take over. We have the finals in our old-timers showdown. Alex Del Vecchio, Normie Ullman, and Johnny Bauer with Brian and Howie along to describe the action. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll update all of the quarterfinal scores from around the NHL in the action tonight. That's in our second intermission.
Canadians, everybody up for the face-off. Jones against Lemaire, at least that was the situation. The new one is Boutet facing off against Schutt. It's Lafleur who is poised, but the Leafs get the draw. Out over the line, there's the lead pass to center. Savard chasing it back into his own zone. Here is Savard, giving it to Robinson, up on the wing. Lemaire at the line. Lemaire is over the line. Lemaire on the backhand. He falls. He centers it. And Jones wheels back with Butler for Toronto. Jones backhanding it in there. Savard into the corner. Now Lafleur picks it up. Up on the wing it goes. There's a pass to an open side. And Hutchison moves up. Couldn't get anywhere. Canadians throwing a blanket over the Leafs in frustrating fashion right here. Montreal leading 3-0. Butler chopped it in. It's Robinson in behind the net. Playing it to the other side. Shot along with Risebrow into the center ice area. Butler got a piece of Schutt. Schutt carries on. There's the shot. Hutchison takes over behind the net for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ahead it goes to Boutet. Boutet hands it off to Turnbull, getting an opening on that left side. Turnbull shot it to the far side, but the angle was too sharp. Now it's cleared on the left side to Gainey from Savard. Gainey coming up on the left side. Gave it to Risebrow. Risebrough over to Chartres. He's nowhere near the net with the shot. Sittler into the corner. Gainey clearing it around the boards. Boutet has it for Toronto. Boutet with McDonald. Long shot. Canadians with a huge margin in shots on goal in the second period. Montreal has 12 and Toronto has 6. Here's Gainey. Stopped by Salming. Salming coming out. He missed with the pass. Chartres laying it back to Engblom. Engblom in the corner. Nothing Montreal over Toronto. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the second period. Canadians misfire on that pass down the ice, and they're going to be called for icing.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
The Mach 2 by Arrow. A tapered shirt that fits you perfectly, because only the Mach 2 is tailored to the contours of your body, with a dart here and here. Has sleeves the length you choose, and if you wish, a patented marked collar. The only collar shaped to fit the cone of your neck. That's the Mach 2, the perfect tapered shirt. Fittingly made only by Arrow.
Tomorrow afternoon, the Toronto Blue Jays host the Montreal Expos in the annual Pearson Cup All-Canadian Baseball Challenge. And the CBC will have all the action for you. 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the start of that game. They're playing it tomorrow in Toronto.
Now the Leafs, everybody up. Out of your picture, almost everybody out of your picture, all you can see is one leg there. But the defense, Salming and Burris. Here's Salming shooting it! He didn't miss by much. Into the corner they go, Anderson and Savard. Napier rolled it ahead, he missed. Lemaire, Sittler coming back. Lemaire doing the checking, got it out. Lambert taken out of the play. There's a pass, goes off a leg. Savard poked it to center. Napier backhands it into Toronto territory, and it's Burroughs taking his time up on the left side. Sittler coming down with McDonald and Anderson. A shot into the corner. The Leafs race in after it, and that's icing because the Leafs shot it from their side of the center red line, at least in the opinion of Finn, but the Leaf players do not agree.
Gary Butler at the end of the Toronto bench. Ron Anders supplied us with some stats tonight that involved the name of Frank Mahovlich. Jacques Lemaire, 2 goals on Monday, moved into 8th place from 10th overall in the Stanley Cup playoff points. He's tied with the Big M. And Lemaire and Esposito have moved ahead of Frank Mahovlich in the goal scoring in the playoffs. The Big M watching in Toronto, and I don't think Frank too surprised at that. We have a goaltending change, it looks like, for Toronto. Paul Matier, at least a problem with Paul Matier. He stopped the play there. Did you remember that a while back? And it seemed as though there was something in, might have been a problem with one of his eyes. Or something might have snow up in the mask, Donnie, or something, or it's hard to tell. Now, Harrison, I don't think he's even on the bench.
He's not. Here he is.
Here he comes now. So Mike Palmatier has gone to the Toronto dressing room, and we will get a story. And Paul Harrison takes over. The last game that the Leafs played the Canadiens in the regular season, Danny, that one you mentioned, well, the day after when Nielsen was supposedly fired, but it was the 1st of March, and Canadiens won it 2-1 with a couple of late goals. Harrison was outstanding, but he was hurt on the goal which won the game for Montreal with a minute or 2 to play in the game and suffered a pulled hamstring. So Roger Nielsen now forced into a goaltending change, and we'll try to get a report on Mike Palmatier as soon as we can.
So the face-off will be to the left of the new goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And a couple of the players a bit fractious and over-anxious. Anderson and Gainey, they moved prematurely. Now we are ready. Leafs get the draw, but it's rolled across the goal mouth by Chartres. McDonald coming down. His pass misses Anderson. And that'll be another icing infraction against Toronto. So the action in this game has been of the, well, reserve type most of the way.
Well, Danny, that's Serge Savard, who has played in over 100 playoff games for Montreal, and at the other end of the rink, Paul Harrison, skating around, trying to get loose in goal for Toronto, is playing in his first Stanley Cup game. Not an easy spot.
now, on the face-off, McDonald starting out with Anderson. Ahead for Anderson. He goes into the corner against Savard. Savard taking over. Here's Savard. Up to Gainey. Gainey to Risebrow with Chartrand. Back it goes. Gainey is knocked down at the line, and it's an offside, but some of the more ardent Canadian supporters felt a penalty should have been assessed against Toronto.
They are into the third period now at the Nassau Coliseum down in Long Island, and the Chicago Blackhawks are hanging tough. The Blackhawks and the Islanders are scoreless, now playing in the third period. We look at Paul Gardner, pretty good young sniper. That score from the Island, Danny, means that Mike Bossy hasn't scored, not yet anyway. There you see the Boston-Pittsburgh score. They're into the third period of the Boston Garden, 3-2, the Bruins leading. The Rangers in the second, ahead of the Flyers, 2-1 in Philadelphia, and that score from the Island in the third.
Lapointe clearing it in over the line. Burroughs in behind the net. Canadians doing a lot of checking, particularly since that lead got... There's a shot by Lafleur since they got the 3-0 lead. You notice there, they're moving up their forwards. Their defense is up near the Toronto line. Salming had to get rid of it, and he missed his target. Now Engblom around. Got up again, cleared it, and Salming shot it in. In behind the net is Lapointe. Now Toronto moving Gardner. Zaganuk up there. Canadians got rid of it. Salming over it goes to Burroughs. Down on the left side. Montreal breaking it up, and Lemaire gives it to Schutt. Schutt over the line. Schutt puts on the brakes on the other side. Lapointe will pick it up. Lapointe getting it back to Lafleur. There's a shot, not too hard. And Harrison is there to cover up against Lemaire.
Well, there is Paul Harrison in the nets now for the Maple Leafs, who tonight, Donnie, have not come up with anything in the way of the physical approach to playing the Canadians we saw in Game 1 on Monday, and it's rather surprising, I think. But they got behind early. It made a difference.
They have, in the past, been successful in the playoffs using the body, and tonight they just stayed away from it. It's a new approach to the game. Maybe they're saving themselves for the weekend in Toronto.
Oh, no.
Turnbull, he misses Williams with it. And it is Lapointe checking Williams over on the other side to Engblom. Engblom into the center ice area. Dumped it into the corner. Lafleur going in. Harrison knocked it to the wing. Turnbull ahead for Williams. Boutet is on the far side. He'll go into the corner after it. Boutet, number 15, around the net, trying to center it. Now Boutet getting it back to Turnbull. In it goes to Williams. Williams tied up by Lapointe. Boutet in on the boards. He's jammed there. Puck is loose to Williams. Behind the net goes Gardner. Gardner losing it to Engblom, who has gone to the ice right out in front. There's a shot by Boutet. And Dryden going down. He lost his stick. He seemed to get a piece of that shot, and that looked like a sure goal. Down the ice it goes. Montreal called for icing.
Oh, good pressure by the Leafs right there. The Canadians lead 3-0 live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What's a guy like me doing ironing shirts? It's not so hard. I got a GE self-cleaning iron that uses most tap water and flushes itself to help stop brown spotting. And a self-cleaning valve to help prevent clogging. Not bad, eh? Listen, if my wife can paint a wall, I can iron a few shirts.
Yeah, whenever the walls need painting.
The self-clean, too. Cleans itself to last twice as long as ever before.
Darling.
From Canadian General Electric.
McKechnie facing off against Risebrow. 3-0 Montreal in front. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left in the second period. Now Risebrow gets rid of it. Burroughs waiting for his teammates to get onside. He cleared it in there. Robinson shooting it, and it's propelled down on the wing by Risebrow. Here's Maloney. Maloney coming down to the line, takes the shot. Dryden got it off to the wing. Ellis getting set, gives it to McKechnie. Slides it across the goal mouth. Canadians starting out. Savard leading a four-man attack with Napier. Back to Savard. Into the corner. Salming has it. Salming ahead, and he missed Maloney with it. Robinson up on the wing. Mondeau steps across the Toronto line. Back to Lambert and off the boards for Mondeau. Lambert right in front of Napier. He takes a shot. Another shot by Mondeau. And Harrison comes up with two big saves. close-in shots by the Leafs.
Well, there's the first Stanley Cup test for Paul Harrison, who played in 30 games, 25 games for the Leafs this year, rather. One shutout. Donnie, he hung tough with the Canadians in close.
Oh, very much so. And Mark Napier is alone in front of the net, and he can't get it by him. Goes down, and Pierre Mondu gets it, tries to get it up over him, and can't do it. And Paul Harrison does make the save.
Well, he probably feels better about the whole thing now that he's been involved in something like the folks are watching right now. Two good stops, and he covers up.
So Paul Harrison getting his first big test since taking over in this period from Paul Matier. From the face-off, it goes around the net. It's cleared by the masked goalie. Out over the line at center. Here's Lanny McDonald fading over to the right side. Lost his stick, jammed in on the boards by Engblom. And they'll get a whistle for a face-off in Montreal territory. Boston 3, Pittsburgh 2. They're into the third period at the Garden in Boston. Near the end of the second in Philadelphia, 2-1 for the Rangers. In the second period at Long Island, no score between Chicago and New York.
Any updates on those? It's now 5-1 for the Rangers. Greshner his second. Dan Maloney and Johnston for New York. Miller has scored for Boston. They're ahead 4-2, and they're into the third now in Long Island.
Well, Shiro decided, I guess, after losing that game, the first one, that he wouldn't play conservative hockey after getting a lead, as he did the other night. There's a long shot by Sittler. Savard playing it up on the boards. On it at center, Lemaire. Lemaire is down all alone. Now coming up with him. His shot couldn't pick it up. Down on the right side, McDonald to Sittler. And Savard is there to take over. Robinson ahead to Lafleur. That's too far for Lafleur. He gets there to beat and icing it centered in front of the net. And it's cleared off by Turnbull. Turnbull to Sittler with McDonald at center. They hit the Montreal line. Here's Sittler going right in and goal! Oh, what a save by Dryden. And what a play by Captain Sittler. Turnbull took a shot wide. Now it's Lafleur into the center ice area. Lafleur back at the line, giving it to Savard. Ahead to Lemaire, up for Lafleur. Lafleur taken in on the board. And let's see, it's a stick above the shoulder making contact. Some of the fans thought a penalty was going to be called, but no penalty. That was some play by Sittler.
He made a fine play moving up the ice and getting around Serge Savard. Didn't have too much time to make the play on Dryden. And here's Lafleur going up the ice, going after Tiger Williams, takes a piece of him, gives a little pitchfork, much like he had a penalty with Gainey, but the puck was hit with the stick above the shoulders.
Now Salming. Just 2 minutes left in the second period. Burrows over on the other side to Gardner. He winds up. The angle was sharp. Into the corner. Along the boards on the right side of the point. Finally it goes to Mondu. He couldn't hit Lambert with it. Salming around the net. Up on the left side to Boutet. His pass got by Gardner. Canadians checking the Leafs so closely at times, forcing Toronto to make passes before they really want to, and they're missing. Here's the point over the line. A weak shot off Salming's stick. Into the corner. Williams starting out for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ahead it goes. Gardner back to Salming. Salming is over the line. Shot high and wide off the glass. In along the boards. Lambert coming out on the left side. Lambert coming down slowly. He decides he wants to get a respite, and he goes to the Canadiens bench after clearing it in. Leafs with Boutet taking that pass. There it is down on the right side to Gardner. Gardner puts on the brakes. There's the shot. Dryden stuck out that left glove hand. Now Rysbrough clearing it out. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Twisting and turning is Salming. He takes the shot and the rebound up on the left side. Here's Gainey down with Rysbrough. Gainey over the line, shooting it. Harrison looks for the rebound, and he covers up.
Paul Harrison looking very sharp in the goals for Toronto as Gainey moved down the left side with a good shot. And here's the rush by Sittler before. He'll cut to the pull to the inside on Serge Savard, get around, doesn't have a lot of time in between the time he gets through the defenseman to make his play on Dryden. His backhand shot is stopped by Dryden.
34 seconds left in this, the second period. Shots on goal, 27-22. For Montreal, Robinson's shot ricocheted off a stick to the corner. Hutchison behind the net. He has to contend with Gainey. Now Risebrough takes his shot, and it's over the glass, and again the face-off in Toronto territory.
Dave Hutchinson for Toronto, one of their more rugged players.
Now Risebrough looks back. He'll try to draw it to Chartrand or Robinson. Robinson is out of your picture. And the Leafs again get the face-off. They've been doing very well in that department in these first two games. Face-offs. Toronto Maple Leafs. Now it's Savard dropping it off to Risebrough to Gainey. Gainey circles back, gives it to Robinson. Up to Risebrough. Canadians killing the clock on this, and this is going to be the end of the second period. So just the one goal in this period, scored by the Montreal Canadiens. Lemaire from Lafleur and Robinson. The shots on goal, 27-22 for Montreal. So the score at the end of two periods, Montreal 3, Toronto nothing.
Back in 1832, Halifax was a growing seaport, trading lumber and fish in the markets of the Caribbean and Great Britain. That was the year a handful of merchants formed Halifax's first public bank, the Bank of Nova Scotia. They believed that making an investment in hard-working people was a good investment. They weren't wrong. 50 years later, Scotiabank opened a Winnipeg office and helped the Western farmer harvest another kind of sea, a sea of wheat. In the late 1950s, banks weren't in the business of promoting small personal loans. Scotiabank made it their business and started giving credit where credit was due. Investing in hard-working people with imagination. It was a good idea back in 1832, and it's a good idea today.
Scotiabank, just around the corner, right around the world. Scotiabank, just around the corner, right around the world. Scotiabank.
If you were designing your own lawn tractor, you wouldn't cut corners. You'd design it to last with more features than bargain machines. Rugged, precision-engineered components, giant mowing capacity with bagging option, and a safe, comfortable ride. You'd design a John Deere 108 or 111. A lot more machine for your money. John Deere lawn and garden tractors with full dealer servicing. Remember, nothing runs like a Deere.
After two periods here at the Montreal Forum, the Canadiens lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0. Strange kind of goals. We're still waiting for somebody to shoot the puck in the net to score a goal tonight. In the first period, Gainey and Lafleur for Montreal, Jacques Lemaire getting the Canadian goal in the second period. In that period, Montreal outshot the Leafs 16-10, and it's 27-22 overall. We can't bring you anything in the way of a definite report on the condition of Mike Palmateer. All we can tell you is that the Toronto team doctor has been with Mike in the Maple Leaf dressing room since he left the ice, and we'll bring you a report as soon as we can. Well, as advertised, the old-timers take over on Showdown here in the second intermission. It's final time. Normie Ullman, Alex Del Vecchio, and Johnny Bauer supplying the action. Brian McFarland and Howie Meeker doing the commentating, and here they come.
Now we move to the final matchup in the old-timers section, and while the nation is still buzzing over my pal Howie's great showing in two previous matchups, ousting Bathgate and really pushing Ullman to the limit, let's look at this final series now between Del Vecchio and Norm Ullman.
Well, they're fellows that have a great competitive spirit, and they've also been blessed with an overabundance of talent, and I just think it's going to be a super show.
What about the goaltending?
Well, there's the guy that come late into the National Hockey League, is on 4 Stanley Cup winning teams, and I would think as great a competitor as ever laced on a pair of skates.
Let's go to the action then, the final matchup, old-timers section. Six career goals, 1,281 points. He defeated Bill Gadsby 15-5 to reach the finals. And smooth Norm Ullman eliminated our own Howie Meeker in an earlier matchup. Howie, you'll get him next year. 20-15 the score. Ullman with 490 career goals, 1,229 career points. The first event, the cut and chase. Howie, you remember this one, around the pylons, picking up the puck, going in against Bauer, and the start is so important here.
You're so right, Brian. Get out of that gate first, and you got a big advantage. Oh, Ullman did just that, too, didn't he?
Good start for Ullman.
Come on, Alex. Ooh, no contest. Now it's up to Johnny Bauer to stop. Oh, great play. Great D.
10 points for Ullman. Off to a good start over Alex Delvecchio.
Well, Norm anticipates Art Scove's whistle here and really gets a great jump on Alex Delvecchio, and I just think there's maybe too good of legs on that Norm Ullman for Alex to catch him.
I thought you were going to come back like hell and help me out here. Gee, he hadn't. He pulled me good.
Closer, he could have.
I couldn't get...
Give me a poke, and I'll see if you would have been.
Yeah. I was thinking of helping you, John. Couldn't get there.
Could have dove or anything, you know.
No, it's too far.
No, I say, if you were just a little bit closer.
He left me at the gate.
Johnny hates to give up goals.
Hey, kids, watch Norm Ullman when he picks up the puck. He carries it beside him. Johnny doesn't know what he's going to do, deke or shoot. Norm takes a look and see how far Johnny's out, and he makes a great play to score a real good goal.
A moment ago, John.
Oh, I was just saying that Normie Ullman and Alex Delvecchio just have no mercy for a goaltender anymore, Brian. You know, Normie came in on me there, and I used my poke check, but I did throw the duck up.
You just don't get any respect at all.
No respect at all from these fellas.
But you are the goaltending champion.
Well,
It's got to mean something to you.
Well, I think Dum gave me a break there. I mean, oh, yeah, I feel happy about it. There's no doubt about it.
I know it
That's
was well
great.
earned.
Yes, well, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching everybody and meeting everybody, and it's just great to be back with the gang again.
I know the fans at home enjoyed watching you again, John. You've just been great.
Thank you very much.
So Ullman holds a 10-point lead. You know, I played a lot of hockey this winter with Ullman, Howie. He's just a wizard with the puck, and I think it won't be long before he skates right into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Now we go to event number 2, Delvecchio shooting at the targets first. Got one.
2. Ooh, just a little high. Alex has to win this one. 3, come on. Go the front foot.
Oh, come on.
Get it. There. Good shot.
Hey, that's some shooting by Delvecchio. He tries to come back.
Yeah, Normie has to be impressed with that
Jeez,
shooting,
I hit
too.
that one up top there 3 times.
Alex, this is your drill right here.
I like that one.
Did you use all shots, or how many do you have?
No, I used them all. Last one got it, Normie.
Howie, those targets look so big when you're in close and so small when you get a few feet away. Ullman must get all 4 targets, and he must get them in 9 shots or less if he hopes to beat Delvecchio.
The first one stood up on end.
Falling behind.
Oh, great. Oops. Tickled that one. Got it.
He's going to run out of pucks. Oh,
Last
one
shot
more.
can do it. Ooh.
Just missed on his final shot, so Delvecchio wins this event.
Boy, that last one was close.
There you go. That first one went on end, eh?
Yeah, I missed one there. It flipped up.
Stayed on end. Good shot. I thought you had that last one.
Just went under it.
Yeah.
Oh, right they are. It just got under it. There's the shot on the replay just under the target. Ullman leads this final 10-5, the breakaway event to come. Well, back to the live action. The Canadiens lead the Leafs 3-0 after 2 periods here in Montreal. Elsewhere, Boston ahead of Pittsburgh 4-2. The Rangers 5-1 up on the Philadelphia Flyers. The Islanders and the Hawks scoreless in the 3rd period. Stanley Cup 79 continues in just a moment.
More than a 1 in 3 chance you will win something. Lotto Canada. More than 1 in 3 you'll make good. Better than 1 in 3 you'll grin. Better than 1 in 3 you'll win that Lotto Canada game. It sure looks good.
New $100,000 prizes. New $10,000 prizes. Lotto Canada is adding 21,000 special bonus prizes to the 4 $1 million prizes in the May 6th mid-draw.
That Lotto Canada game, it sure looks good.
Right now, you can get special option packages on Ford Explorer pickups. Explorer pickups come with special paint, tape stripes, and interiors. special wheel covers, and more at special prices. Take options like a box cover, power steering, cruise-o-matic, and air conditioning. The value adds up as you add on. See your Ford or Mercury dealer now for Explorer pickups. Ford, the best-selling name in pickups.
A reminder that this series continues with Game 3 in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens on Saturday night and Game 4 on Sunday. Our start time Saturday night, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday. Now back to part 2 of the Old Timers Showdown.
Johnny Bauer. Johnny Bauer, our goaltender champion among the old-timers for the second year, gets set for the breakaway event. 5 pucks on the line. Allman in the dressing room. Delvecchio will go first.
He's in a little bit of trouble, too. He's got to win this event. Boy, that Johnny's been playing super goal. Oh, right in the hand. Just like Pickett's.
He's got to get 1 goal or he's out of it.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Super save.
Come on, Alex. 3 pucks left. Oh, what happened there? I think maybe he threw the stick.
Maybe?
Is it gone or what?
If he did, it's a penalty shot.
Hey, I threw my stick out.
Jeez. Well, maybe twice, but I don't know about that time.
Well, I think he threw it once.
You threw your stick. I did.
Got Alec talking to himself.
Oh, good save there. He's got him blank so far, but Art Skov, I think, is going to award 1 extra shot.
Look at the hand go up the handle. Reaches as far as he can, can't reach the puck, and throws the stick, the sly old fox.
Oh, it showed up well on the replay. He did throw it, and we're going to have a penalty shot.
1 more shot on from when he threw that stick.
I thought he threw it twice.
No, the other one, he had the stick on your skate, and it was jammed out of his hand.
You know, it was pretty close. It looked like he might have thrown it twice.
Well, here's the disputed one. Let's see. Look, stick comes out. Oh, hits the skate and bounces out of his hand.
Throw the stick again, John, if it don't go in.
Bauer won't buy that. Meanwhile, Norm Allman's in the dressing room. He must be wondering what's going on out there. He's been in there so long. Here's the big shot.
Bingo! Right on. Got one.
Delvecchio scores on the penalty shot.
Got her.
First time on Showdown. And he needed that goal.
Oh, right under the stick glove.
And Normie Allman needs just 1 goal in 5 to win the Old Timers Showdown.
Should be a lead pipe sink. Oh, try to go between the legs.
4 shots left.
Oh, hey. Carried it in front of them. Johnny Red D could come out with a stick.
What a poke check by Bauer.
Oh, Dick's a little mad. Wasted one there.
2 shots left.
Great balance on skate.
Hey, Delvecchio could win this yet.
What a save. Look, he gets back.
What a performance by Bauer. Delvecchio the winner.
Like a cat in the mouse, wasn't he?
1 goal.
Very happy fella. Watch this. This is just super. Loses his balance. Look, gets right back up again quick and makes the save. Normie was going high. Couldn't get it up.
What a finish. Here are 2 champions, Alex Delvecchio and Johnny Bauer. Obviously friends for life after that. What do you say, Alex?
Well, it has to be. Johnny, I think, was real great for me. He did a super job.
Well, I did the best I could, really. I didn't favor anybody, Normie Allman or Mr. Delvecchio, but I mean, I did the best I could. What I'm supposed to do is stop the pucks, and I tried the best.
And you told me earlier these guys weren't showing any mercy on you.
They weren't, Brian, really. I mean, I don't want to show any mercy on them either, but I mean, they tried their hardest, and they were good shots on the net, and I was just fortunate to be in the right spot.
So that's it. Congratulations to both of you, and that's our Old Timers Championship for Showdown 79.
You know, it couldn't have been that easy for those fellas. They put on a great show for us all season, and we congratulate the Old-Timers for what they did for us on Showdown. We'll return with Stanley Cup 79 in just a moment.
Kentucky Fried Chicken is really finger-licking. Good chicken!
If you're entertaining 15 people or more, serve your guests Colonel Sanders Do-It-Yourself Buffet for a perfect party. Tasty fresh salads, 3 pieces of Kentucky Fried Chicken for each person, plus everything you need for serving.
Give us 2 hours' notice, then come and get it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken is really...
For what they did for us on Showdown. We'll return with Stanley Cup 79 in just a moment.
chicken!
If you're entertaining 15 people or more, serve your guests Colonel Sanders Do-It-Yourself Buffet for a perfect party. Tasty fresh salads, 3 pieces of Kentucky Fried Chicken for each person, plus everything you need for serving.
Give us 2 hours' notice, then come and get it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken is really finger-licking.
Good chicken.
You said you'd teach me the TV repair business. That's what you said. In 2 years, I've worked on every color set, but never Hitachi. Never.
One more try, kid. Okay, we'll ask right here. TV repair, ma'am. We've come to check your set. No charge.
Oh, no. We've got a Hitachi. Who needs service?
Kid, promise me, if you ever get inside a Hitachi, come back and tell me all about it.
You have to be part of a family to understand what it means to have someone depend on you the way you once depended on someone else.
Daddy, can I have one?
And that's why so many families who come to Mutual Life stay with us from generation to generation.
Okay, but you've got to take good care of it.
Because they know we understand that especially to a family,
Life is a mutual affair.
The Montreal Canadiens lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0 at the end of 2 periods, and we have the story on Mike Palmateer from Roger Nielsen, the Toronto coach. Palmateer suffered dizzy spells. He felt that he was injured during a collision in the goal crease with Steve Shutt, began to feel dizzy, a little bit ill perhaps, and so he took himself out of the game. It is not serious. Palmateer will be ready to play for Toronto on Saturday night, but he will not be back in action here tonight unless another emergency develops. So that's the story on Mike Palmateer. It is not serious. Dizzy spells as a result of a collision with Steve Shutt. Elsewhere around the National Hockey League tonight in quarterfinal play, the Boston Bruins leading Pittsburgh 4-2. Rattel, Foster, McNabb, and Miller for Boston. Hamilton and Kindrachuk for Pittsburgh. The Rangers ahead of the Flyers at the Spectrum 5-1. Greshner with a pair. Vickers, Dan Maloney, and Johnston for the Rangers. Bafe has scored for Philadelphia, and they are still scoreless in the 3rd period at the Nassau Coliseum, the Islanders and the Chicago Blackhawks. Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You wouldn't be late all the time if you learned to get it together.
Okay, I'll go practice.
2 golden. Wilson golden? I just served the last one, I'm afraid. But we've still got plenty of,
Please,
Here, let me hold that for you.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't know what. Oh!
So, well, to make a long story short, the next day...
Tony, my friend thinks your eyes are green, but I think they're blue. Oh, we're both right.
Well, if you enjoy riding as much as I do, you really must come out this weekend, huh?
If you go for the smooth taste of a Molson Golden, you don't settle for something else. When it's golden, you go for it.
Canadiens 3, the Leafs no score. The teams are back on the ice. We're almost ready for the start of the 3rd period. Shots on goal, 27-22 for the Montreal Canadiens. Scoring for Canadiens, Gainey, Lafleur, and Lemaire. Donnie Marshall, this has been a tame game and of the non-pulsating variety.
Well, we all expected the Leafs to hit and possibly not take the penalties. They're not taking the penalties, but they're not doing the hitting that was expected of them. The Canadiens are skating exceedingly well. I think their forechecking is as good as it has ever been, and I find it very difficult. I think it's going to be very difficult for Toronto to come and make up 3 goals and perhaps 4.
And I noticed the Canadiens' defense tonight displaying that great mobility. There's Turnbull failing to get anywhere against Savard. Savard around the net, in pursuit. Williams out on the left side. It comes to Shutt. Shutt ahead to Lafleur. Lafleur with Lemaire. Lemaire chasing it to the left side. Could be an offside. And there's going to be a penalty here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boutet, is it?
Pat Boutet's going to get one, and it looks like it's going to be charging. He took a run at Shutt when Steve was getting ready to pass the puck, and Pat Boutet, he had nothing else in mind, but I'm going to get Steve Shutt, and he caught a penalty for it.
So Montreal going to the power play again. The crowd tonight bigger than last Monday, 16,665. That's approximately 1,000 more than were here at the Forum for the opening game. 20 seconds into the third period. The penalty against Boutet for charging. Montreal going with Lemaire, Schutt, Lafleur, Robinson, and Lapointe. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jones and Butler. The defense, Burroughs and Salming. There's Lafleur scooping it from one corner to the other. Salming knifing it to the line. Stopped by Robinson, picked up by Lemaire. Into Schutt. Schutt lost it, goes after it again. Schutt around the net. Fighting with Salming. Back it comes to Lapointe. There's the shot. Harrison got his right arm on that. Lemaire was dumped. Salming clearing it down the ice. Lapointe back there, swings the pass to Robinson. Robinson into the center ice area to Lafleur. Lafleur over the line. Lafleur. There's the shot by Schutt wide. Robinson off the boards, playing it behind the net. Back to Robinson. Robinson to Lafleur. He winds up. Harrison coming out, grabbed it waist high.
Well, Paul Harrison, with the defenseman covered, moved out, blocked the angle, and not a dangerous shot. Here we'll see the shot is Salming has Lemaire tied up pretty well, and the shot from Lafleur from the point. Harrison well out in front of the crease. No danger for a rebound.
50 seconds have gone by in the penalty.
Now we take a look at it. You see how far Harrison had moved out with no danger from Lemaire.
Jones against Lemaire, and for the umpteenth time in this game, we have players waved out of that face-off circle. Now it is Butler against Lafleur. The face-off along the boards. Lafleur has it. Lafleur faked a pass, working in off the boards, getting it back to Robinson. There's the shot. He whipped one wide. Here is Lapointe over to Robinson. Robinson back to Lapointe. Lapointe gives it off to Schutt. He fakes the shot. Lapointe takes a shot. The rebound cleared by Harrison. Into the corner. Schutt along the boards, getting it back to Lapointe over to Robinson. Robinson into Schutt. He took a shot. It goes off Turnbull. Cleared to the line. Not out. Lafleur over to Schutt. Schutt back to Lapointe. Lapointe clearing it in. Now it's back pass by Lafleur and then cleared down the ice by Kenville. 25 seconds exactly left in the penalty to Boutet. Now it's Robinson leading the attack, going on the right side. He has to stop to control it. Robinson takes a look. Over on the left side, stepping over the line. Lapointe, his pass is intercepted, and Turnbull shoots it down the ice. Scotty Bowman making changes on that power play as we come down to 3 seconds. Now we have the expiration of it. Mondeau in on the right side. He falls along with Turnbull. Here's McKechnie over to Boutet. Boutet is over the line. Dropped it back. Here's Maloney. And he couldn't get the shot away against Lambert, who clears it to center. Salming to Maloney. He scoops it in on the left side. The Leafs with the line of McDonald, McKechnie, and Maloney. There's Hutchison shooting it high off the glass. McDonald laid it behind the net. Golfed by Maloney, but he couldn't make contact. There's a low shot along the ice by McKechnie. McDonald into the corner for Maloney. He's jammed into the boards by Savard. Back to Salming. There's the shot off the glass. Some pressure here by the Toronto Maple Leafs. McDonald shooting it to the other side to Hutchison. Into the slot. Cleared back near the line. Salming playing it back in. Grabbed off by Mondeau, coming out. Napier on one side, Lambert on the other, back to Napier, over to Mondeau, right in front to Lambert, and he couldn't negotiate contact at the open side of the net. McDonald back. He ripped that one off the leg of Engblom, who was limping a bit. Lapointe ahead to Chartrand. Lambert picks it up. In over the line it goes. Hutchison coming back into the center ice area. Fraser couldn't get it at the line. Lapointe over on the left wing, too far for Gainey. Offside against Montreal.
From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 79.
If your engine isn't starting on cue, put in a fresh set of Champion spark plugs at least once a year. Champion and your engine can make beautiful music together. Get started with Champion.
Boston Bruins have defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins to take a 2-0 lead in that quarterfinal. 4-3 the score tonight. Kindrachuk, his second goal and third of the series for Pittsburgh, concluded the scoring.
LaPointe clearing it into Leafs territory. Back it comes near the point. Propelled down the ice by number 10, Anderson. He is seeing much more service in this game tonight than he did in the opening game. Goes all the way down the ice to Harrison. Turnbull around the net. 3-0 Montreal leading. 4 minutes and 25 seconds have gone by in the third period. Dryden clearing it to Gainey. He fired it over the other side. Out of the net is Harrison, and he cleared it off the wing. Then he was upended, and it's offside.
The goaltenders like to roam, Danny.
Oh, they're mobile, and Jacques Pont was the first one who ever left that crease to any great extent.
Well, here it comes, and again, it's, do I or don't I, but Harrison didn't waste any time. Lucky Ricebrow fell there to try to avoid contact.
McDonald comes out on right wing, Sittler at center, and Anderson stays out there on left wing.
Well, there's that final score. The Bruins hanging on to beat Pittsburgh 4-3. Still a 5-1 Ranger lead at last count, and still a scoreless tie. The Islanders and the Blackhawks. They're in the third.
Gainey, Risebrow, and Chartrand, the line for the Canadiens. Kenville laying it over the other side to Turnbull. Kenville gets it back, comes to center, rolled it ahead. Robinson broke it up. Now Gainey down on the left side. Gainey winds up. He's the goal post. Going for the far side. He wrapped that one right off the goal post. A scorching low drive. Here's Turnbull leading the attack. Coming down. He's in over the Montreal line. Passes it to Sittler. Back in for Turnbull. He couldn't get it. Robinson trying to hit Risebrow with it, and he just got his stick out there. Down the ice it goes. That's icing.
It's a good call, the icing. Fondue touched the puck on his side of the red line. Donnie, here's Gainey's shot.
Bob Gainey with tremendous speed at most times down the wing. He picked up the loose puck, shot on the ice, right on the corner. Paul Harrison out of the net to cut the angle, but that puck was by him. Bob Gainey, a fine left winger, good offensively, Dick, but mainly noted for his defensive ability.
Past season, the first that Gainey reached the 20-goal mark. Does Pierre Mondoux cause a penalty shot throwing his stick like Johnny Bauer did right there, Danny? No.
You had a lot of fun on that show there, didn't you?
That's good.
In on the boards, they jam, and it's loose in behind Dryden. LaPointe up on the left side. Shutt has it to Lafleur, gathering speed, drop pass. Lemaire going in, he fired it. Knocked down by Lafleur, penalty coming up. Slashing penalty. Is he looking at Boutet again?
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
In celebration of Ford of Canada's 75th anniversary, your Ford and Mercury dealers present Beautiful Value Days. We're celebrating with the luxurious Diamond Jubilee cars, Ford LTD and Mercury Marquis. And there's more during Beautiful Value Days. 50% off beautiful styling option packages on Ford, Futura, Granada, Fairmont, Mercury, Zephyr, Monarch, and Z7. Beautiful values today. Details at Ford and Mercury dealers.
Jacques Lemaire moving in on the net, takes the shot, the stop by Harrison. And somewhere along here, Boutet is caught for slashing. There he is, must have caught Lafleur right there. Looked for a while like Salming might get one. Boutet with the slash, Montreal with the power play.
3-0. Canadiens leading the Leafs. And that's one thing the Leafs cannot afford taking penalties in the third period when they need at least 3 goals to get back on even terms. Now the Montreal Canadiens coming out. Robinson clearing it into the corner. Harrison knocking it away. Here's Lafleur. Lafleur getting it back to Lemaire. Lafleur again to Lemaire. Over to Lapointe. Lapointe takes a look. Where is it going to go this time? Let's see. Lapointe into Lafleur. Lafleur to Lemaire. Lemaire back to Lapointe. There's a shot off a leg. Over it comes to Lemaire. Lemaire takes a look and gives it to Lafleur. Lafleur takes a shot. Wasn't very hard. It was to the short side, but Harrison had to be very alert. Now it's centered. Back it comes. The stick is high. It's cleared down the ice by the Leafs. Exactly a minute left. In the penalty to Boutet, 3-0 for Montreal. 13-15 left in the third period. Robinson in full flight on that right side. Robinson going into the corner. Gets it back. Lapointe is closing in for the shot. Rebound in front. And it's knocked away by Salming. Burroughs struggling with Robinson. Now on the boards in behind. Lafleur has it. Getting it back to Lemaire. Over on the other side. Lapointe into Lafleur. Robinson trying to get it. Covering up is Salming.
Had a great job of covering up, it was, Daddy. Again, Donnie, the Canadians demonstrating that puck control in the power play. Salming to the rescue there for the Leafs. As he looks at the clock, sees 28 seconds left in Boutet's penalty. Through all of North America, April is Cancer Month, and the Canadian Cancer Society reminds us all that with our help, cancer can be beaten. Give generously, help them find the cure.
Mondu centering for Schutt and Napier. On the points, Engblom and Lapointe. McKechnie gets the draw, gives it to Hutchison. He failed to clear it. Now Maloney slaps it off the boards. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, Maloney and McKechnie up front. Turnbull on defense with Hutchison. Now an even dozen seconds left in the penalty, and the Canadians led by Mondu. Mondu takes a weak shot. Into the corner, Maloney caroms it off the boards. Here's Lapointe. The penalty now has expired. Engblom to Mondu. Over it goes, and Maloney tipped it down the ice. Boutet out of the penalty box. Dryden has to make contact, so there's no icing. Up on the left wing it comes to center. Boutet at the Canadiens line, back to center, chopped it in over the line. And Lapointe around the net with McKechnie after him. Lapointe just gets rid of it. And you can see the pattern of play, I would think, from here in, particularly with about 10 minutes plus some seconds left in the third period in regulation time. And Montreal with that 3-0 lead, that every opportunity they have, they'll get rid of it and get it out over the line. There it is down into the center ice area. Risebrough clearing it in. Sittler rolling it back. Savard with that long reach took it away from Anderson. Now Risebrough. Here's Gainey picking it up, rolling it in front. Burroughs sliding on the ice. Covered up, and it's gloved from one player to another.
This is Stanley Cup 79 from the Forum in Montreal.
If you go for the smooth taste of a golden, never take it for granted, or someone else may take it for good.
3-0 here for the Canadians. They are late in the third period at Long Island, still scoreless. And Danny, will come as no surprise that one big reason is Tony Esposito. The Islanders outshot Chicago, we're told, 24-12 in the first two periods. But so far, they have not been able to beat Tony O.
There's a possibility of overtime there. When was the last time a 1-0 overtime game?
I know the last one in this building. I don't know if that was the last one.
I remember it was back in Detroit. Ken Mosdell scored in overtime.
Yeah. 54.
Into the corner. Burroughs clearing it out on the right side. McDonald going after it against Dryden. That was in 1954.
Well, there's Ken Dryden, who is continuing his streak of having played every minute of every playoff game that has been played by the Canadiens, and he's been a member of the team, starting with that 71 series when he made his dramatic debut into the NHL, if you will, save for the 6 games he'd played in the regular season, and excluding the year he sat out, 1974.
Face off to the left of Dryden. Leaves everybody up. 10:55 left in the third period. 3-0 for Montreal. Now it goes to Chartrand. He has Gainey on the wing. Chartrand over the line, clearing it in for Risebrough. Puck is loose. Chartrand rolling it in. Behind the net, Burroughs takes over for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Burroughs coming out. Salming rolls it ahead. Gainey flattens Salming. Now Sittler passed it back, and it's knocked into the center ice area by Risebrough. Salming took a heavy check from Gainey, and Gainey eluded Salming in the center ice area. Burroughs playing it up on the right side. McDonald is pushed against the boards by Risebrough. Here's Sittler trying to hit Anderson. It goes right in to Dryden. Chartrand. Risebrough couldn't pick it up, and McDonald dropping it back to the line to Kenville over on the other side. Offside.
I must mention that coming up the stairway after the second intermission, I ran into a happy group of youngsters from Calgary down here on an exchange program, and they wanted me to let their folks know back home that they're here and having a ball. Donnie, the check by Gainey.
Bob Gainey is one of the better hitters in the league with the stick down and with the shoulder, and he caught Boreas Salming very well.
And it started the first bit of physical contact to any degree in this hockey game. Far cry from the opener Monday.
Now here's Boutet. Back to Turnbull. Kenville on the right side. It's blocked by Schutt. Here's Schutt trying to get through there to Lafleur. Drop his stick to the short side. Turnbull coming out for Toronto. 4 of them at center. In over the line, Williams. It's clear to the wing. Engblom rolling it ahead to center. Lafleur on the right side with Lemaire. Lafleur turning to get some skating room. Laying it back to the line to Engblom. Engblom going down to the Leafs blue line. Couldn't penetrate. Boutet having trouble with complete possession against Schutt. Now it's off a leg. Kenville up on the right side. Saganuk going up for the shot. Blocked by Engblom. It's centered in front. And Lapointe has it for the Montreal Canadiens. Ahead to Lafleur. He ran into Boutet. Coming to the rescue, Lapointe, and he gets it over to Engblom. Here's Lambert circling around near his own line, down on the right side, in over the line. Couldn't go all the way to the corner, and Napier with that head fake again, wending his way. Napier trying to burst through there, and the puck went too far ahead. Out at the Leaf line, Boutet over to Kenville. Now to Turnbull on the right side at the Montreal line. He's over the line, and it is offside.
With the score, the Canadiens 3, the Maple Leafs nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Jennings, we're in the pink. Still fluffy. Good as new.
Very good, sir.
When I restored this house 20 years ago, I had bats and bats of fiberglass pink insulation put in, and it's still effective. People thought me a little strange then. Today, they just admire my foresight. Take my advice. When you insulate your home, do it right with fiberglass pink insulation. It never wears out.
And the area which you're looking at right now, just outside the Canadiens' blue line, McKechnie, Maloney, and Ellis for Toronto, Burroughs and Salming on defense. The Leafs clearing it in, and the Canadiens come out rather smartly on the left wing. Lambert shooting it in. Napier taken in on the boards by Burroughs. Salming around the net. McKechnie reaches for it, sends it over to Burroughs up on the left side. 3-0 Montreal. In front here in the third period, exactly 8 minutes left. Lambert couldn't clear it out. Now here's McKechnie trying to get in front. Ellis has it, shoots it, and Dryden coming out. Stopped that shot along the ice on the short side. McKechnie bumped hard with Savard. Here's Maloney over to McKechnie. McKechnie turning on the boards, giving it to Salming, and he whistles a shot wide. Leafs again with some pressure here. Ellis along the boards against Mondu. Robinson took a slight bump from Maloney. Canadians led by Napier. He streaks down, coming in, dropping it back. Into the corner it goes, and McKechnie is there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Scotty Bowman decides to make a wholesale change practically. He has Risebrough on with Gainey and Chartrand. There's Salming working his way in with that head fake. He made a brilliant individual rush. Went from one end of the rink to the other, all in his own in the first period, Salming did. Now the puck in the center ice area. Risebrough runs into Salming. Savard back at the line to Robinson. Savard takes it up on the left side. It goes to Gainey. Gainey picking his way in, going into the left side. Goal! Well, Donnie, if at first you don't succeed, the last time he had that chance, he hit the post going from the far side. That time, Bob Gainey drilled it right through Harrison's legs.
He had the chance in the second period as well, Dick, and this is the third crack at it, and he really reaps the puck, and it's a little bit on the short side and up high, and Paul Harrison just can't put the squeeze on it.
All right, here it comes again. Leafs were caught that time. And Gainey just cranks it back, and let's go to big slapper. 4-0 Montreal.
Larry Robinson. À 13 minutes 19 secondes. Canadiens goal scored by number 23, Bob Gainey. Assisted by number 18, Serge Savard. And by number 19, Larry Robinson. 13 minutes and 19 seconds.
13-19, Gainey from Robinson and Savard to make a Montreal 4, Toronto no score. Now Williams' pass goes back into his own zone. Harrison out of the net, playing it up on the left side. Lapointe snapped the pass, it got by Lemaire, goes into Toronto territory, could be icing here against the Canadiens, and that is it.
There's the story. 5:56 left in this third period. 4-0 Montreal. This coming Saturday, International Rugby, the Canadian Badminton Championships, and the World Cup of Wrestling are featured on Sports Weekend. Join Ernie Appiganis for Sports Weekend this Saturday on CBC television.
Scotty Bowman indicating to Engblom that he wanted him off, and he further indicated to Lafleur that he wanted him on. So Lafleur is shutting Lemaire on against Butler, Jones, and Boutet. Now it's shut, lugging it into the center ice area. Lemaire is going up on the wing. There's the high shot by Shutt. Boutet for the Leafs around the net, gathering speed. He's an excellent skater, number 15, Boutet. He makes the good move. Boutet over the line, dropping it back. Butler's shot off a leg. Butler into the corner. Back it goes. Turnbull takes a shot. 3-on-1 for Montreal. Lemaire over the line. Lemaire back to Lafleur. The shot.
I think Steve Shutt's going to get the goal, because I don't think it ever got to either Lemaire or Lafleur. It went in off Dave Hutchison's stick.
I think, Dick, the pass was headed for Jacques Lemaire. Hutchinson got the stick out almost to stop the puck, and I think it went in after him.
That's a tough spot for somebody like him to be in. You get the three big gunners on the Canadians, 3-on-1. He gets back all right as Shutt throws it across. There you see it. I don't think it touched anybody else. They battled for it. 5-0 Montreal.
As you said, a pretty tough spot for a defenseman to spread himself that thin.
You know, you talk about the 2-on-1s a lot, Donnie, but not very often do we talk about 3-on-1. Here's a classic example. And his stick just happens to be in the wrong place. And for him, the wrong time.
Well, whether he hit it in himself or whether pass got through, it was going to be a goal.
Lemaire and there's the mix-up. Engblom Saginaw, is it?
Yep.
Steve Shutt.
A couple of Stanley Cup newcomers.
By number 10, Guy Lafleur, at 14:36.
Well, as they sort that particular situation out, and you heard the announcement on the goal. 40 seconds left in the game now at the Nassau Coliseum, and they are still scoreless. The New York Islanders and the Chicago Blackhawks. Well, they came together along the boards. The linesman tried to get in between them, I think, before they finally came to blows. Saginaw hits the deck. Now, no, it was the referee. It was Van Helleman who skated between them. But he didn't stay there. Can't blame him. And that's how it all began. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
Very strange. Why people kick the new advantage radio? It would be simpler now to talk to a BF Goodrich dealer about the advantage radio.
Shouldn't that be radio?
That's what I said. Radio. The BF Goodrich Advantage Radio.
So the announcement being made on the penalties. Saginaw of Toronto and Engblom of Montreal going off major penalties. The last scoring play at 14:36. Shot from Lemaire and Lafleur. And Dick, I think perhaps did you mention the fact that now the Canadians have scored 10 goals against Toronto without a reply?
No, I did not, Danny. You just did. But that's a fact since the goal by Maloney early in the second period in Game 1 on Monday. There's Yvan Cournoyer and Claude Ruel of the Canadiens coaching staff. The captain, Cournoyer, not playing, of course, but helping out in the practices to a great deal these days.
The Leafs. Hutchison over for Turnbull. Turnbull down, goes to the Canadiens line, working in, takes the shot. The angle again sharp. McDonald rolled it in there. Robinson couldn't get it. It's centered. Gainey bumping with McDonald. And they will get a whistle, and we have 4:46 left.
They have gone into overtime at the Nassau Coliseum. Surprisingly, I would have to think, judging from the pre-series prognostications, the Hawks and the Islanders, no score at the end of regulation time.
Well, that fellow Pulford can come up with a rather deadly defensive type of game when he wants to, and I suppose that's what he's doing there tonight.
Jalupien has not seen action for the Canadiens tonight.
So Chicago coming up with a big effort in New York into overtime. No score. 4:46 left in regulation time here, and this one apparently not in doubt. 5-0. There's a shot by McDonald. It hit a leg. Another shot from the line, and Dryden holds on with Savard covering up on Anderson in front of the net.
Danny, last year when these teams played in the playoffs, we talked about Yvan Cournoyer and Ron Ellis being the only active playing holdovers from that 67 final between these teams. Ellis the only one in action. There's the goal again, Donnie. Whoops.
That was going regardless, Dick.
Well, that's the second time in the playoffs the Leafs have scored in their own net. McKechnie had one going off his stick against Atlanta. Now Sittler drifts a shot. He didn't have too much on it. It was wide. On the boards, they fight for it. Hutchison working his way in. Takes a shot. There's McDonald hopping to the corner. McDonald getting it back. No one there to pick it up but the Canadians. Gainey circling. Gainey now hits some speed over on the right side. Playing it in for Risebrough. Back for Gainey. He couldn't get it. Sittler ahead to Anderson. Anderson winding up for the shot. Dryden looked behind him. That puck was on end, I think. There's a shot by McDonald. And it went off the corner glass in among the spectators.
Now, Bob Gainey's the only one who has really shot the puck into the net of any of the 5 goals scored tonight. Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You're looking at just part of the biggest lineup in lawn boy history, the new generation lawn boy mowers with a brand new 2-cycle engine. We tested them for months to prove these tough new lawn boy mowers have a dramatic 20 to 30% more usable power. They even adjust cutting speed automatically for tall or tough grass.
The new generation Lawn Boy mowers with 20 to 30% more usable power. Just part of the biggest lineup in Lawn Boy history.
Gilles Lupien out for his first shift of the game with Brian Edblom serving his 5-minute penalty. Canadians going with the fourth defenseman.
It is LaRouche at center, Connor and Hughes on the wings, Boutet, Williams, and Butler. There's Kenville taking a shot from the far wing, and it's offside. 3:52 left in the third period. Cam Connor. He didn't see that much action throughout the year with the Montreal Canadiens. I think it was into March before he got his first goal. He's a very rugged individual. And LaRouche, very disappointed about the way things have gone for him in Montreal. He was a prolific scorer, of course, in Pittsburgh. Seeing spot action here. Not scoring too many goals. There's Williams taking a shot. It's off the stick. Dryden knocked it away. It comes to the side of the net. It's loose. There's a backhand shot by McKechnie, and Dryden didn't see it, but he was down in that area, and it hit him.
Kenny Dryden working for the shutout, as are the rest of his teammates. And Guy Lafleur, in only his second playoff game of the year, is leading point scorer in the playoffs to date. Danny with 8.
Well, that line, or at least the threesome, they don't always play as the line, is Shot Lafleur and Lemaire. They have produced handsomely in this playoff series so far. Now here's Hutchison working in on the boards. Back it goes to Maloney. There's the shot. How did Dryden see that, or that? Did it just hit him? That was
No, I think Kenny saw it all the way. Danny, the first game Monday night, Ken looked a little shaky early in the game, but tonight, very sharp, very alert, and playing excellent hockey.
And the Blue Jays and the Expos on CBC TV from Toronto in the Mike Pearson Cup game tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. A couple of very exciting ball clubs. Now Maloney against Hughes. Here is Lapointe. Lapointe over to Lupien. Lupien down to Hughes. He stopped neatly by Kenville. Kenville with McKechnie. Offside. And that is about the third time that the Leafs have got a rush going, and we're called back on the offside. That is within the last 4 or 5 minutes, and they can't afford the luxury of that infraction. Down 5-0.
Danny, in Philadelphia, the Rangers have gone ahead 6-1 with Murdoch scoring in the third period.
Now Lapointe swings it over to Lupien. Lupien clearing out to Lambert. Lapointe back at his own line. Maloney, McKechnie, and Ellis moving up there trying to get possession. Now Kenville has it, swings it up on the wing. Ellis rolling it ahead. Lupien trying to clear it out, knocked down by McKechnie. Now Lambert pass to an open right side. Turnbull to Kenville at the line. The series resumes in Toronto on Saturday, 4th game on Sunday at the Gardens. Here's Lambert going in. He centered it. Napier was upended. Here's Boutet at center. He has Turnbull on one wing. Williams on the other, broken up. Canadians starting away. Napier elected to propel it ahead, and back to get it is Kenville. Kenville hits the line. There's the shot, the big rebound. Chartrand to the other side, and it comes out over the line. Boutet back at his own line to Kenville. Gainey clearing it ahead. Gainey has been a very strong performer for the Montreal Canadiens tonight. The Leafs shooting it in. Less than 2 minutes to go in the third period. Robinson lost it. Here is Butler centering it. Puck is loose, and Dryden covers up.
Now, the closest thing we've seen to a matchup this evening is Scotty Bowman trying to make sure that Bob Gainey is on the ice every time Lanny McDonald's out there.
And the final in Boston, the Bruins take a 2-game lead in that best-in-7 series at the Penguins, 4-3. The score, Boston, the final. And I think that series resumes on Saturday afternoon. 1:45 left in this game. And some of the crowd, and more than 16,000, moving toward the exits. They feel that The outcome's not in doubt. Now Hughes in on the boards against Boutet. Williams struggling with Chartres. Boutet bumping with Robinson. Robinson clearing it to Gainey. Down on the left side it goes. Burrows back there, and he cleared it into the center ice area. Butler over for Hutchison. He takes the long shot. Right now the shots on goal are 37-27 in favor of Montreal. At center, Hughes in over the line. Knocked off his stick, and now in this hockey game we have 1 minute left. Hutchison over for Burrows, up on the right side. McDonald couldn't get a stick on it. Dryden to LaPointe out with Lambert and Napier. The three of them at center. They shoot it into Toronto territory. Lambert bumped rather solidly by Burrows. Connor mixing it up rather gently with Anderson.
You take a look at Dave Burrows, who came from Pittsburgh to Toronto to help strengthen the defense. Good man with the puck, Dan. Handles it well, moves it out of his head quite well.
32 seconds left. And we have Captain Sittler, who certainly has not been able to get on track in the two games in this series so far. But you can't hold a player of his immense talent in check too long. Number 27, Sittler. He's out there and on the wing is Lanny McDonald. And on the other side, Anderson. LaRouche, Connor, and Napier. There's a long lead pass. McDonald is going after it. McDonald shoots it. Partially blocked by LaPointe. In on the boards, they go after it. Here's McDonald. He scores! Lanny McDonald. And the Leafs avert a shutout with 17 seconds to go. And again, you saw that quick wrist shot.
He scored on Monday night, Dan, with the wrist shot. Had another one tonight, same way. The whole team is on the ice to congratulate him. They're down 5-1 now, and they've given up really, but they're still in the game. Well, take a look. He misses the net. The puck is going to come around to the boards. Canadians really can't control it. Lanny's going to come out of the corner with the puck. Here's on his stick now. Quick wrist shot. Beats Kenny Dryden high on the glove side.
So with 17 seconds to go in the third period, Lanny McDonald from Sittler and Anderson. And again, the time, 1943, if you're keeping statistics on this game in the same manner as Ron Andrews. Who keeps statistics like Ron Andrews? I don't know. So the face-off outside the Canadiens' blue line. Now Turnbull gets it to Salming. His shot is stopped by Connor. Connor lugs it to center. That will be the hockey game. The siren, the game is over. And a change on that scoring play. McDonald from Sittler and Turnbull at 1943. That'll bring your statistics right up to date and in accurate fashion. Shots on goal 38-28 for Montreal. 5-1 the final score. Canadians leading in the series 2-0. In just a moment, our three-star selection.
Nice of you to have me aboard your private plane, JP.
Not at all. For my very special business associates, it's first class all the way. Miss Hopkins?
Yes, sir. May I offer you some caviar, some cold pheasant with truffles, perhaps?
No, just the golden.
Golden?
Molson Golden, the good, smooth one.
Oh, well, we don't seem to have any golden aboard.
No, golden.
Well, we do have some nice imported. Bill?
Some people will jump at the chance to go for a golden.
Miss Hopkins!
Actually, a lot of people.
A beautiful new breed of Mustang has become a runaway success. The 79 Mustangs from Ford. Dramatic new styling in a full line of two-door and three-door models. From the elegance of a thoroughbred Ghia to the excitement of Mustang Sport. Mustang comes standard with an economical 2.3-liter overhead cam engine. Break loose. Ride beyond the dull and ordinary. Capture the beautiful new breed of Mustang. A runaway success at your Ford dealer.
Mesdames, Messieurs, voici maintenant les 3 étoiles Molson du match de ce soir, tel que choisi par Monsieur Bernard Brissette du quotidien La Presse. Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson's 3 stars, as selected by Mr. Bernard Brissette from La Presse newspaper. La première étoile, the first star, Bob Gainey. La deuxième étoile, the second star, Guy Lafleur. Et la troisième étoile, the third star, Serge Savard.
We'll return with Stanley Cup 79 in just a moment.
It was the 16th of April, 1953, when Montreal's Elmer Locke scored this overtime goal to defeat the Boston Bruins 1-0 and clinch the Stanley Cup. It was Hockey Night in Canada's first season of televising games, and Locke's goal provided a fitting climax and a magic memory. Montreal Canadiens goaltender Ken Dryden has been involved in many overtime games. We wondered which one he remembers the most.
We've been in a number of them, many of which we've lost, I think.
Back at the Forum, the Canadiens have defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 5-1 to take a 2-0 lead in their Stanley Cup quarterfinal series. Bob Gainey with 2 goals tonight, and the first star selection very well deserved. Guy Lafleur for the second night in a row, a goal and 3 assists with 8 points now in these 2 games. Lafleur is the leading point getter to the stage of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and Serge Savard was the 3rd star in the hockey game. And I'm pleased to welcome Bob Gainey as he comes in and dries off a little bit with the towel. Robert, congratulations on an excellent effort tonight. The 2 goals, the Leafs surprised you a little bit this time by not coming out as physical as they were at the start of the game 1.
Well, Dick, I think they tried to come out as, you know, I think they had in their minds they were going to come out as physical and as aggressive as they could. You know, that's their best style of play for their team. But we counted a goal early, and I think it was, you know, much to our advantage to get that first goal.
The first goal was kind of there were some strange goals tonight. We have your 2 goals, and we'd like you to describe, if you can, the first one that you scored, because from our vantage point, and really from the camera vantage point, we couldn't see very well what happened. This isn't the goal, I don't think. Maybe this is, well, that's the end of the game. We'll get to it. We're having just a little bit of trouble. Bob, the Canadiens, Larry Robinson mentioned off the top of the show, maybe just a little bit tight at the beginning of game 1. Obviously, you're a little looser now.
Well, I think we're playing a little better lately, you know, the last 2 weeks of the season, and it's continued on.
Here it comes now. All right, you're cutting in front of the net.
Guy goes to the net, and I went to the corner of the net, and I just stopped there, and Boris Salming had to make a choice of whether to go after Guy or me, and I think he probably made the wrong decision if I was in that position, but...
I could look at it again right
I just stopped. I made sure I stopped at the corner of the net, and the puck hit my stick. I didn't really, I felt it, and I saw it go in the back of the net, but I didn't really have control over what I was doing. I was just standing there.
All right, in the 3rd period now, you had hit the goalpost dead on when you went for the far side. This time, you took a look and looked back down and let it go. What were your thoughts?
Well, I saw Borja stepping up on me at center ice, and I had some good speed. And when I got over the blue line, I decided, well, I've hit him a couple times tonight. I said, I'm really just going to shoot this one as hard as I can and see what happens. And it was a different goalie maybe than played the first 2 periods, and he didn't have a lot of shots, but he seemed to stay in his net a little bit maybe.
Well, there it goes, and it looked like it went right through his legs, and the second goal for Bob Gainey. Bob, the intensity of the first game and the first half of the first game didn't seem to be out there tonight. Again, was it the fact that you fellas had the lead and the Leafs had to maybe change their style?
Well, I think, you know, they try to play a really hold-back game, and hope for the break to get the lead on us, and they had us probably in the best position they could the other night when they had us down 2-0. Fortunately, I think we played a very patient game. A lot of people seem to think that we weren't pressing or we weren't pushing, we weren't as aggressive as we should have been, and I felt we played the game the way it should have been. We held back and we were patient, and we felt like we were moving the game to them, maybe not as much as we wanted, but we were patient with it, and eventually it came. And I think, you know, if we had panicked and tried to jump right back into the game in a hurry, it might have cost us more.
Very briefly, Bob, the fact that you are defending the Stanley Cup 3 years in a row, you know, the old cliche, the pressure. Any more this year than other years in the playoffs at this stage?
Well, I don't think so. Maybe because we're playing Toronto and, you know, we always have good games against them, and there's a little rivalry, and we know they have a good team. But the playoffs is a funny thing, and it's a long way to the end from here. We know that. If there's one team who knows what it takes to get there, I think we're the team that knows it.
Hockey people say, when you make the playoffs, be sure to win the last game you play. Thank you very much, Bob, and congratulations on the first start.
Thank you, Dick.
Bob Gainey of the Canadiens will return with Stanley Cup 79 in just a moment.
Years ago, someone had the bright idea of taking an alarm clock and a radio and creating the clock radio. Today, that idea has evolved into this CGE AM/FM electronic digital, with a silent flashing alarm and warning beep to tell you when the power's been off. A forward time and alarm set, and a time-saving reverse. A separate wake-up time for him and for her. The Total Clock Radio from Canadian General Electric.
Sports Weekend. Ernie Afaganis is your host as CBC Television brings you the excitement of sports. From international rugby in Scotland to the Canadian National Diving Championships and badminton from Quebec City. Be sure to join Ernie Afaganis and the rest of CBC's top-notch sports reporting team for rugby, diving, badminton, and much more on Sports Weekend. That's Saturday at 3 Eastern Time.
I can recall a year ago in the semifinals being very impressed when Roger Nielsen came into this very studio after a losing effort here at the Forum, and I'm impressed again when Roger comes by. And first off, Roger, the Leaf fans, I'm sure, would like to know what you can tell them on Mike Palmatier.
I think he got hit with Steve Shutt's knee or something on that goal, that third goal, and he was seeing stars, and the doctors felt it was better. He came out, he signaled Paul Harrison, and that was the first we knew about it, so the first stoppage of play, we called him over just to see, but he was seeing stars, and the doctor said he'll be fine for the weekend.
Okay, so he'll be back. So that is good news about Palmatier. Roger, you have to be a little disappointed. The way it's worked out, your team got off to a good start in Game 1. One thing I must ask you about, what in the world are you going to do with Guy Lafleur? He has 8 points on you in 2 games. You've got to do something.
Well, it's good we've had a man on him, or he would have really...
well, he's put on quite a show, yeah.
Well, he's a great hockey player, and we know that. And tonight... I think we were definitely outplayed in scoring chance, but we had our chances too. And Kenny Dryden, who usually comes up pretty big in the playoffs, played a real steady game for Canadians. And their first 3 goals were all a little funny.
Nobody shot the puck in the net.
And so when you get behind 3 on Montreal, sure, we're disappointed, but we're not down. We know we came back last year in this very situation, and we wanted to establish a hitting game in the first 2 games. And while we perhaps didn't establish as much as we'd like to, I thought we kept hitting right through the third period tonight.
Right. Again, I think you would also have to think about you have to generate some offense, because you really haven't had much since the early part of Game 1.
That's right. We tried to go a little more offensively tonight with Paul Gardner and Rocky Sagnuck, and so they could see more action.
Well, Raj, thanks very much for dropping by.
Okay, Dick.
Roger Nielsen of the Maple Leafs, and now upstairs to Danny Gallivan and Donnie Marshall.
Okay, Dick. Well, as has been mentioned by Dick, Canadians with a big lead in this series, having won the 2 games here, and it shifts to Toronto for games on Saturday and Sunday. Donnie Marshall, if there's ever a game that the Toronto Maple Leafs have to win, I think it'd have to be Saturday night.
It does have to be Saturday night, Danny. I think if they lose Saturday night, they're going to be in big trouble Sunday night. But I would have to say that what happened tonight, especially in the power plays, Toronto killed their power plays very well. Montreal scored the 3rd goal by Lemaire on the power play, but it was a break from the blue line. They contained the Montreal power play, and it's something they had trouble with on Monday night, and I think that they could play a little more aggressively if they can kill the penalties.
Well, the Leafs, of course, over the years have had a rich history of resurgence and coming back in the playoffs. And they have to come back in this one down 2-0, but then again, they have their 3 home games remaining. Do you think that it's going to be rock and sock 'em early in the game on Saturday?
I would think so. They're at home before their home fans, and they have been successful in past years by using the body. There's no sense in, trying to run Montreal out of the rink, because you're not going to do it. But they can use the body, try to stay away from the penalties, but hit hard. And as I said, they could kill the penalties. But they have to, as Roger just said, they have to generate some offense. They do not have the offense that they need. They're not scoring goals.
Well, Palmetier has been injured, but Rogers indicated that he'd be back on Saturday night. But even if he's not back, they have got a fine backup goalie in Harrison.
Well, Paul Harrison, he played well tonight, and I saw him the last game they played in Montreal this year, and he was just tremendous. He held Montreal practically all alone for 55 minutes until they scored at the end of that period. But I think either goalkeeper for Toronto will do quite well.
Okay, Donnie, thank you very much. And now, Dick, it's yours once again.
All right, gentlemen, I have been advised of just one final score elsewhere. The Bruins beating the Penguins 4-3 in Boston. At last report late in the third period, Fred Shiro and his New York Rangers, right in Shiro's old hockey home, the Spectrum in Philadelphia, 6-1 ahead of the Flyers. And it's overtime at the Nassau County Coliseum. The Islanders and the Chicago Blackhawks. Interestingly enough, as Roger Nielsen left our studios here just a moment ago, he asked me if I had anything final in from the island. I said it was into overtime. He says the Blackhawks are going to give the Islanders a real battle. He says, I'm wondering if the Islanders can win in Chicago. So there's an interesting comment on that particular series from the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here again tonight at the Forum, the Canadiens, with Guy Lafleur again leading the way with 4 points and Bob Gainey scoring twice, defeated the Maple Leafs 5-1. They go at it again in Toronto on Saturday night. Broadcast time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live from Maple Leaf Gardens. Until then, this is Dick Irvin, bidding you a very pleasant good night from Montreal for Stanley Cup 79.
CBC Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford Motor Company on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. The Bank of Nova Scotia with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Golden. Hockey Night in Canada is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the enjoyment and entertainment of our viewing audience. Unauthorized use in whole or in part without written permission is expressly forbidden.